Evening. Been a little bit of a while since we went live on the channel. We have a lot to talk about. I'll start to go live more and more as the summer progresses, as we get closer to football season. But I figured with all of the summer rumors,
been a little bit of a while since we went live.
Really is starting to ramp up for Nebraska. We have a lot to get into throughout today's show. So before we get into all of it, everybody, let me know down below in the comment section where you're tuned in from. Hit that like button before we get into everything tonight. Again, we'll be rolling for an hour or so, just talking Nebraska recruiting, talking about everything going on with the program. So gonna be a fun live stream, pretty chillax. I'm excited to get into it. But again, it's been a while. It's been a while since we did this, but let's just get things started. Let's talk some Nebraska recruiting, guys, because that's really been the storyline recently, right? We know that Nebraska recruiting is really going to start picking up next week. Official visits, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So let's just get an early preview of what we're thinking, what's going on. Is Nebraska recruiting actually struggling? Because, again, I feel like the perception around the program right now, I shouldn't say around the program, but around a lot of the fan base, they feel like this recruiting class is struggling. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have a lot of concerns, particularly with the defensive line, maybe even with the wide receiver recruiting, a couple of other things going on there. But in general, this recruiting class, especially when you look at these official visits, there's a lot to be excited about still. I mean, let's just go to who we're hosting next weekend. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. You have a bunch of high-quality four-star prospects who Nebraska, all of them are arguably favored to land with the Huskers. Again, you got Kelvin Obot, who is a borderline five-star prospect. Kelvin Obot is a guy who was like the number 9 player in this class who's visiting Nebraska. I would say right now the Huskers are the favorite alongside Oregon, Michigan. You have Brian Bonner in that mix, right? Who's a very talented four-star running back. You have Cameron Hamel, who right now it's really Nebraska, Oregon, Texas A&M's kind of in there as well. You get Cameron Wilson, who I think Nebraska might flip. So not too concerned about the level of talent Nebraska's bringing in. The only thing I'm concerned right off the bat, and we'll get into this as the live stream progresses, the only thing I'm concerned with is the depth. So, for example, I'm just going to go. Let's talk wide receivers. Okay, everybody wants to talk wide receivers, right? Let's go to wide receivers first. Let's just talk about who Nebraska's going after in the wide receiver class. So right now, Nebraska, I'd say they're in a good position for 2 wide receivers. Okay, and we're only going to get 2 more wide receivers anyways. We already got CJ Bonwell-Whitty in this class. So we're in a good position to land, not Darian Jones. I don't know why they haven't listed a wide receiver. We're in a good position to land Jaden Warren, who's somewhere in here. Jaden Warren's right here. And we're in a good position probably for Ryan Mozee. Okay. The problem is not necessarily the talent of these guys. They're both very high 4-star prospects. The problem is if we don't land one of them, then we're scrambling. Then we don't have backup options. And that's the only thing that's concerning about this class right now for Nebraska is while I really feel good about some of the quality of prospects that we're going after on the O-line, D-line, linebackers, like we're going after a bunch of high quality 4-star prospects. The problem isn't that. The problem is if we miss out on those guys, they decide to commit elsewhere, they decide to go to Michigan State, Oregon, wherever, right? Then Nebraska's going to have a really tough time. So I know a lot of people, they always go in my comment section, they say, Wilson, we shouldn't be freaking out. There's 6 months until signing day. Okay, well, let's not have that mindset anymore. The summer is signing day, not actually signing day, but this is when everything happens this summer. So if Nebraska recruiting is starting to struggle in June, it's probably going to struggle for the entire class unless we see something drastic happen this season. Obviously, we flipped a lot of guys last second. So, again, I'm not freaking out about Nebraska recruiting. I know a lot of people are. And I got a lot of questions recently. Is our NIL struggling? No, our NIL is not struggling. We're in a good place. Like, part of the reason we're in the Kelvin Obot sweepstakes is because we have a good NIL package. Part of the reason we're in the Cameron Wilson sweepstakes is because of our NIL package. Part of the reason CJ Brana hasn't decommitted yet and went over to Florida, who he's visiting this weekend, or going over to Penn State, is because of our NIL package. The thing about our NIL, however, is, once again, we're not reckless. And this is something I told you guys on the channel today. I'm going to continue to tell you guys is we're not going to do what Miami did. Miami just offered Jackson Cantwell $2.5 million a year. That's crazy for a high school recruit. And no matter how good you are as a high school recruit, you know, there's a level of risk to you. You might be a bust. You never know if you're going to translate your game to the next level. So Nebraska, they're not offering pretty much any prospect over $500,000. Literally none of them. Okay, unless you're a quarterback, right? Dylan Raiola obviously got like $1 million out of high school, right? But again, our NIL not struggling. Overall at this class, not freaking out just yet. But let's just go position by position how we're feeling. Obviously with our quarterback, Dayton Raiola, he's not going to decommit. We're not going to land another quarterback in this class. Again, I'm kind of critical on Dayton Raiola. Again, I like his game. I like his upside. You guys kind of already know how I feel about Dayton. The thing about Dayton to me is just continuing to see him develop, right? He's already gotten bigger in size. When he committed to Nebraska, he was like 5'9", he was like 230. Now he's kind of slimmed out a little bit. He's probably about 220. He's up to about 6'2". So he's looking like his brother right now. But the Dayton thing is just simply him continuing to improve his accuracy. He's not as physically gifted as his brother. And I just want him to go to a bunch of camps this offseason, really. That's what I want from Dayton, to continue to improve himself, go to rivals camps, go to On3 camps, and get better. But is Dayton Raiola one of the better Nebraska quarterbacks commit we've seen in a while? No, I'd say objectively, if you're looking at this from an objective national lens, Dayton Raiola is probably the worst Nebraska quarterback commit in the last 5 years, 6 years. I mean, seriously, like, I know that sounds kind of harsh. I can't tell you the last one who kind of was worse than recruiting rankings, and just because he has a lot to prove. As for running back, again, we have 3 really good options at running back. Obviously, we have Devin Walker, who's probably our number 1, Brian Bonner, who's probably our number 2, and then Jamal Rule, who's our number 3. The only thing I'd say about all 3 of these prospects, the way it's looking for Nebraska right now, is that all 3 of them are complete wild cards. We thought that Devin Walker is a lock for Nebraska over the last couple months. Not really looking that way anymore, because Oklahoma's gotten the mix here for Devin Walker. So this recruiting process is something that I'm following very closely as official visits begin. I think he's visiting Nebraska. Let's see. He's visiting Nebraska on that June 20th weekend. So again, he's still expected to make this visit. I would not be shocked if he ends up sneaking over to Oklahoma. But right now, it kind of looks like it's Nebraska, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. So things have definitely heated up for Devin Walker. It's not the lock that I thought it was a couple months ago. That's bound to happen with prospects as good as he is. Brian Bonner's a big wild card. I think Nebraska's probably the 3rd team right now in this recruiting process. Just don't love where we stand. UCLA probably number 1, Washington number 2. And then, the Jamal Rule is still not, while I think Nebraska probably is the favorite more so than the other 2 prospects here, he had a really good visit to NC State. He's probably going to visit Wisconsin. He visited Wake Forest. So Nebraska, they're in a decent position for all 3 of those running backs. But as of right now, what is it, June 27th or May 27th, I wouldn't tell you that Nebraska's a lock to land any 3 of those guys. So that's a little bit concerning. Obviously, we talked about wide receivers already. Tight end is something that I know a lot of people have been concerned about. They're concerned about where we stand with tight ends. I wouldn't be too worried. Like, I don't know why people are freaking out. Obviously, Camden Jensen committed to UCLA. Matt Ludwig committed to Michigan. Those are 2 prospects that we wanted early on in this process. I still feel very confident that we're going to land, where is he? Lincoln Watkins, wherever he is on here. I don't even think he's showing up. Lincoln Watkins, we're going to land him. No question about it. I feel out of all the prospects right now, I probably feel most confident we're going to land Lincoln Watkins. So not really freaking about tight end. We're going to land 1 there. Offensive line, I think it's going to be a good class with Kelvin Obot, Claude Mapuma. We're going to land 1 of the 2 there. Probably not both, but one or the other. And I think it's probably being Claude Mapuma. We're going to probably land Deacon Schmidt, who I feel decent about. You got Ryan Murat, who's committing. I want to say Ryan Murat's committing in late June. So that's somebody who's really interested in Nebraska. And then we just offered Charlie Thom, who's going to come on an official visit. That's kind of breaking news on the channel. Very athletic offensive tackle. Nebraska feel like they found a hidden gem here. That's somebody who's probably going to commit to Nebraska because he's been he's been blown up recently. Nebraska wants to get that done very quickly before he starts picking up national offers. So O-line, not worried about that. Defensive line, yes, defensive line is an issue. Point blank it is. Like Valdon Sony is still not announced if he's going to come on an official visit despite our best wishes. JJ Finch is visiting, but that's still something that's, it's going to be very hard for Nebraska to get back in that process. They're very late there. Again, there is a harsh reality right now. There is I could see a reality where Nebraska does not land a single defensive lineman going into the season. And that's really scary. That's really bad. Yeah, I could see that. The defensive line class is looking bad. Objectively, and I wish it wasn't. I wish Terry Brain was doing, I don't want to say he's doing a bad job because I don't know if he's actually doing a bad job, but objectively, this is really worrisome, right? With the defensive line, which in my opinion is the most important positional group on the defense. In my opinion, this is the second most important positional group in all of football. You need to have blue chip defensive linemen, okay? And we have kind of struggled in D-line recruiting over the past couple of years besides last year's class. So, yeah, there's a lot of concerns in the D-line. A lot of concerns. Anyways, yeah, I could see a reality where we don't land a single defensive lineman going into the summer or going into the season. And in that case, you better hope we have a good year in order to flip one of these guys. Linebacker, not worried about that. And then defensive back should actually be one of our better recruiting classes. We're going to land Cameron Hamel. That's going to be a hard one, but I think that's going to be one that we end up getting. Dominic Turnbull's interesting. He's went completely quiet, but Nebraska really fighting nobody there. Devin Jackson, somebody who really has blew up recently, got offers from Oregon, LSU, but Nebraska is still going to get his official, and then Danny Odom. So actually, out of all the positional groups I feel most confident about, secondary is probably up there. So not too freaking out right now about this recruiting class, but again, we have a busy couple weeks going on. We have a busy couple weeks, and just know it's going to be a small recruiting class, no question about it. It's going to be smaller, but again, quality over quantity. If we have a small class, but we're only getting 3-star prospects, not good. And that was the one thing about Matt Rule too, which brings us kind of into a bigger conversation. Was the thing that we heard from Baylor fans when we got Matt Rule was that he wasn't a great recruiter. And that's something that really didn't turn out to be the case in the first 2 years. Like, Matt Rule's been a phenomenal recruiter since he got to Nebraska, but I don't know, that might be showing up right now. We'll see. But I think, in my opinion, the reason why Nebraska recruiting is struggling, if you want a reason why it's struggling, and I don't think it's actually struggling that badly, but if you want a reason why Titan Davis isn't considering us anymore, I think it's because of really 2 reasons. Number one, or actually, I think it's because of 3 reasons. Number one, we're not incredibly aggressive with our NIL. While our NIL is not struggling, we're not incredibly aggressive. We're not throwing around money. So that's number one reason why our recruiting kind of is not doing great right now. Number 2, it's simply a byproduct of not winning enough games. We thought that the Boston College Bowl game was such a big win for the program. It really wasn't. And that's something I told you guys at the time. Like, I wasn't celebrating the Boston College Bowl win. It was nice. It was nice to get the monkey off our back. But from a national perspective, like winning the Pinstripe Bowl, like, that doesn't really move the needle. And that's why I was telling you guys all of November of last year, it was so important to win the Iowa game. It was so important to win the USC game, because if you could win those 2 and get up to potentially 9 wins, that changes the opinions of recruits. Not winning only 6, right? Anyways, that's a story for another day. And then the third reason why recruiting maybe is struggling right now is just simply because of all the coaching changes, right? Having a new defensive line coach didn't really help things, right? And the fact that Terry Brain got on campus so late, Terry Brain was not doing a single thing of work for Nebraska since February, or until the beginning of February, because he was working with the Chiefs. So we were behind on all D-line recruiting because he wasn't recruiting at all in January. He wasn't recruiting at all in December. You can see kind of the results of that right now. So that's talking recruiting. Again, I know there's a lot of pessimists out there right now. I still think it's going to be top 20 class, and we'll talk about this a lot. And we have a big event coming up, I want to say next week or the week after, that I have a video talking about tomorrow, which is going to be monumental for the program. So watch out for that video tomorrow, dropping at about 10 o'clock Central. So that's recruiting. You guys have any questions, I'll get to that throughout the live stream, so make sure to start putting questions in the comment section. But I do have a question for you guys. We'll start talking about the offseason rumors. We'll talk about that portion right now. So let's transition a little bit to the offseason, to the team, to the expectations. We'll still talk recruiting, obviously, if you guys have questions about it. But I have a question for you guys. Which player are you most excited to see next season that wasn't a key contributor last year? Okay, might be a transfer coming in, might be a true freshman, a second-year player, might be somebody who redshirted. Who are you most excited to see who wasn't a key contributor on last year's team? So don't say, I'm most excited to see Jacory Barney. I'm most excited to see Dylan Raiola. No. Who are you most excited to see that really wasn't on the field last year, wearing a Nebraska uniform at least? I want to hear what you have to say. I'll give you a couple of mine. Before I get to your guys, I want to hear what you are thinking. But here are a couple of mine. I'm most excited to see Demitrius Bell. That's somebody who I'm very hyped up about. Obviously, again, the rumor on the street, or I shouldn't even say rumor, this is a fact. Demetrius Bell is a completely 100% healthy. He probably could have played in spring practice because obviously of his ACL injury last year. But the reason why he didn't play in spring practice, they didn't want to risk anything. If you have any scratches, basically they're gonna kick you out of spring practice because they just don't want to risk anything at that point in time. So although he probably could have performed in the spring game, he probably could have performed in the scrimmages at that point in time, they didn't want to risk anything with Demetrius Bell. Demetrius Bell is completely 100% healthy. He's been looking good. He's training back in Nashville, which is where he's from. I could see a reality right now where, again, I truly believe right now that Jacory Barnes is the best receiver on the team. Like, Dane Key's going to be really good, but I think Jacory Barnes is one of them ones. I think Jacory Barnes is a first round pick. So I think Jacory Barnes is number 1, Dane Key's number 2. I could see a reality where your third best wide receiver for next year is Demetrius Bell. Very easily, because that's how much the coaching staff loves this guy. It's just one of those sad cases of a dude who's just got injured time and time again. But when he's been on the practice field and when he's been healthy, he's been playing as good as Jacory Barney, if not better. Okay. So usually I don't like to buy the stock too much of these injured players because you guys know how I feel about injuries. Usually when you get injured one time, you might not be the same player and you come back. But from a Demetrius Bell standpoint, with how good he was initially, feels like he's going to be pretty good, at least this summer or at least this fall. So that's the first guy I'm excited to see. I'll give you a couple more. Larry Tarver, somebody I'm excited to see in that DB secondary. He was balling out last year in that open practice that we had in the fall. Super athletic. They're working him at the slot. Two others that I really, really want to see. Willis McGahee, I think, is going to take a big jump. One of the more naturally gifted pass rushers we've seen from Nebraska in the past decade. I think he's going to be potentially, gosh, I'm so excited to see Willis McGahee, man. He's going to be a beast. Him and Deshaun McCullough off the line, gosh. Yo, that's going to get me fired up. And then the last one, this is somebody who literally nobody talks about to this day, and this is Mac Markway. He could very well be your starting tight end next year. Okay. Another guy who's just got a lot of injuries throughout his career, but when he's played, and whether that was with LSU or in high school, he was dominant. Okay, he played as a true freshman at LSU as a tight end. That's so hard to do. That was when they were really, really good. So Mac Markway is somebody I'm excited to see as well. But I want to see what you guys are thinking, right? Obviously, we got a lot of Dane Keys in there. Yep, Dane Keys going to be a dog. Deshaun McCullough, I'm excited to see Deshaun McCullough. I'm just hoping. I have some concern with Deshaun McCullough just because he hasn't produced an elite level yet. From a physical trait standpoint, he's one of them ones. I mean, he's 6'5". He looks. I mean, he looks the part, right? He looks like an all Big Ten first round draft pick type of guy. I'm just worried about him kind of putting it all together, right? Can he finally do that at his natural position of Jack? But I think he's going to be really good. Larry Tarver, yep, that's my guy. You know, that's my guy. I've been hyping him up for years now, man. Ever since Larry Tarver committed, that's been my guy. I'm happy that's your guy too. Willis McGahee, yep, great minds think alike right there. Heinrich Haarberg, oh yeah. Again, right now, that brings me to a segment we're going to talk about later. We might as well talk about it right now. Again, Dylan Raiola is right now, I believe, either now or next week, he will be in Texas working out with Heinrich Haarberg, Dane Key, Jacory Barney, Nyziah Hunter, and Janiran. Those five will be down in Texas working out with his private quarterback coach, Jeff Christensen. That's going to be an event, man. That is going to be quite an event. I don't want to make it sound like I'm selling Heinrich Haarberg short. I'm really intrigued what his role is. Because again, I've already told you guys, I don't expect him to be a traditional tight end. You know, you line up in the box, he's blocking one-on-one with edge rushers and linebackers, right? That's not going to happen. I think it's more just going to be kind of what we saw last year, where you might put him in the backfield from time to time. You might put him on these little sweeps across the field. You put him on these motions. You put him in the slot. I'm excited to see what his role is and how much he actually gets on the field. But one thing I'm excited about when it comes to Dana Holgorsen says, hey, we're going to utilize Haarberg, but he's got to earn everything. We're not going to put him on the field just because he's a fan favorite. So I'm excited to see Haarberg, but absolutely from a physical trait standpoint, 6'5". He has a lot of speed on him. He put on a lot of good weight this offseason. I'm excited to see him, man. Really am. That boy Williams Nwaneri, yeah, dude. I think this, okay. Out of all the players who might be the biggest X factor on this team. So what I mean by X factor is one player, if they can take that big leap, they have the ability to take this team from 6 to 9 wins. One of those players who is that big of an X factor is Williams Nwaneri. Okay, I'd probably put Dylan Raiola in that category of being a big X factor. I would put maybe our backup running back Quinn Ives in that category as being an X factor. I would put Williams Nwaneri in that category because our defensive line is phenomenal right now. I don't think it's going to take that big of a drop off like people are expecting. The one thing though that we've talked about before is I just don't really trust the pass rush right now. I didn't trust it last year. Even with Ty Robinson, we did not have a top 40 pass rush in America. We act like last year's defensive line was dominant getting to the quarterback. That was actually one of its struggling points. So if we weren't even top 40 in the pass rushing department last year, how is it going to be this year? Because you look at the starting defensive line, Riley Van Poppel, run stopper. Cameron Lenhard, run stopper. Obviously, you got Elijah Judy, run stopper. You just don't have a 3 technique on the roster who you feel really comfortable about getting to the quarterback. The reason why I think Williams Nwaneri is the X factor on this team, because if he can break out to be that 5-star that he was coming out of high school, and he's already put on a bunch of good weight. We heard from, gosh, I can't remember. Somebody said that he looks like a first-round draft pick. It might have been Elijah Pritchett. If he can take that big step and be that pass rushing freak that we know he can be, he has the ability to take this defensive line to the next level, to be elite, to even be better than last year. I think that's a possibility. I think the defensive line could be better than last year. I know that sounds nuts, but really the only guy who I think is irreplaceable is Ty Robinson. We can replace Nash. Nash was not that great last year as much as we like to think he was. Right? He was an undrafted free agent. He wasn't an all Big Ten member, right? Like Nash is replaceable. If Elijah Judy can play up to his potential, he'll be Nash again. The only guy is irreplaceable is Ty, and we know that. Like, Ty was so good, but if the unit in general gets better around Ty or around side it, if the nose tackle gets better, if the 3 technique gets better, if the depth gets better, the defensive line will be better in general because it's a team game. Okay, the defensive line is in trouble because we lost one player. So I'm actually feeling really good about this defensive line. I just genuinely feel like Williams Nwaneri is probably the biggest X factor right now. Because, again, besides him, maybe Jalen George in that conversation too, and Keona Davis. Those are the 3 who I feel the best about getting to the quarterback consistently, but all 3 of those guys have a lot of wild card to them, right? Jalen George is an FCS player, and while he's super athletically gifted, who knows he takes that jump to the Big Ten. Williams Nwaneri, while he is a 5-star and was super athletically gifted, who knows if he's completely dialed in because he was not dialed in at Mizzou. And then as for Keona Davis, for him, it's just about taking that step. We know how athletically gifted he is. I feel like he's dialed in. I feel like he's doing all the things right off the field, but sometimes it's just not that easy, right? To take that next step. We'll see. But the defensive line, I just think people are saying it's the biggest question mark on the team. I don't feel that way at all, really. Maybe the pass rushing department, but I think this defensive line has a very real opportunity to be better than last year. I know that sounds crazy. The only guy that we lost that's irreplaceable is Ty. But if the unit around side him gets better, if the depth gets better, if the nose tackle play gets better, if the pass rush gets better, if the jack play gets better, there's no reason why this D-line can't be better. And I think we have an upgraded defensive line coach in Terry Brain. While Terrence Nine, I'll give him all the props to the world. I think Terrence Nine was elite. I think Terrence Nine was one of the more underrated coaches we've had in Nebraska in a long time. I think Terry Brain with his pass to the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to bring the best out of a lot of these guys. So I'm excited to watch this D-line play. I think it'll be a lot better. Luke Lindenmeyer, that's a good pick. That's a good pick from my man Emerson. Again, another underrated player. Like Luke Lindenmeyer was balling out in spring ball. And we know, again, he's basically a Nate Borkature 2.0, but Luke Lindenmeyer has the ability to be more of a vertical threat. I think he could be one of the better, tight ends in the Big Ten. I know we kind of crap all over blocking tight ends, but blocking tight ends, they're one of the most important positions in football just because they completely change your running game. If you have a solid blocking tight end, you can set the edge a lot better. You can run outside the numbers a lot better. Whereas if you had Thomas Fidone out there, your running game sucks because Thomas Fidone couldn't block for anything, right? So Luke Lindenmeyer could be an X factor, particularly in our running game. Teddy Prohaska, oh yeah. Again, Teddy Prohaska, the rumor is, and we've heard this from multiple people, whether that's at On3, people on the radio, the rumor inside the building is that Teddy Prohaska is right now the betting favorite to be your right tackle this year. Not Gunnar Gatula, not Henry Letufsky. We heard some smoke about that. I think they're going to kick him back into guard, which is his natural position. It's probably going to be Teddy Prohaska if he's healthy. And you know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that if Teddy Prohaska is your starting right tackle. Because, when he's actually been on the field, he's been pretty good. Like, he's been one of the better tackles we've seen in Nebraska in the past decade. The problem with Teddy Prohaska is simply him staying on the field every single game, right? So, but you can't say that about, like, Bryce Benhart. Bryce Benhart was terrible, right? He did get better as his career progressed, but he was terrible. You can't say that about Turner Corcoran. Turner Corcoran's always injured, and when he gets on the field, he's terrible. But with Teddy Prohaska, while he's never on the field, he's always injured. When he actually does get on the field on Saturdays, he's pretty good. He's usually pretty reliable. So I'm hoping he could stay healthy this year and potentially go off to the NFL because he does have some traits. Amari Sanders, oh yeah, man. Amari Sanders is going to be really good. I'm excited. He's going to take that big jump. He's physical, dude, and he's so athletic. He's 6'3", right? Man, he's going to be a stud. Why didn't Isaiah Mozee and Cortez go with the group to Texas? Well, I think simply Dylan Raiola, I mean, he only brought 5 receivers last year. This is something that I think is going to be a yearly tradition with Dylan. It's not a Matt Rule thing, by the way. I talked about it like a week ago on the channel. People were saying, well, why didn't Matt Rule, it was his decision to bring down Haarberg. Matt Rule has no say in this. This is a private event that Dylan's just doing because he wants to do it, right? So Dylan's flying out all these guys with his dollar. I think he just said, hey, I'm going to bring the best 5 receivers on the team. And those are the best 5 receivers on the team. Probably not Haarberg, but those are the top 4 receivers in Barney, Key, Hunter, and Bonner. I think he probably would have brought out Bell, but obviously with Bell's injury, we'd rather have him just kind of sit tight until fall camp. And then he's bringing Haarberg because that's his best friend. Haarberg was tight end 1, tight end 2 throughout the spring. So I just think he didn't have enough room to bring Isaiah or Cortez, right? I think it's just as simple. He wasn't trying to pay out. He wasn't trying to pay for 15 plane tickets, right? He wasn't trying to pay for 15. He'll bring those both out next year, assuming they break out to be those type of players that we think they're going to be. So, because I don't think he brought Jacory out last year. Oh, he did. He did bring Jacory last year, but Jacory Barney's one of them ones. So, is what it is. Is what it is. Let's go, Wilson. I appreciate my man. Appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing the new long snapper. Me too, dude. I mean, that's an underrated addition, right? Like, we never talk about that during the offseason. You never talk about how good the long snapper is, but turns out on Saturdays, the long snapper impacts the ball game more than pretty much a lot of other positions, right? Like, if you have a bad snap, you can't kick anything. You can't get extra points. You can't kick field goals. And we lost a lot of games because of our long snapper last year. A lot of games. We lost the Illinois game because of one. We lost probably the Iowa game because of one. Definitely very important right there. Elijah Pritchett. Yeah, I'm excited to see Elijah Pritchett. Again, I want to show you guys this. This is a talking point. Let me pull this up for you guys real quick. So I tweeted this out yesterday. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, please do so. So this went kind of viral on Nebraska Twitter yesterday. They had Elijah Pritchett. He's working out at the Velocity Academy back in Georgia, which is where he's from. And they said, excited to have Elijah Pritchett in working with us prior to heading back to Nebraska football. Again, they're heading, by the way, if you don't know this, the team is heading back to Lincoln, I want to say next week. So next week, the team will be back for summer workouts. So they're not going to be, obviously they're not practicing or anything, but next week, it's either next week or the week after. They will be back in Lincoln going to work. I call them OTAs pretty much. They're kind of like OTAs for the NFL. But anyways, look at Elijah Pritchett. I mean, he looks good. He's at 325 is what they said. That does not look like a man's at 325. That's all good weight. And I tweeted out kind of sarcastically, it's refreshing to have a starting offensive lineman who isn't built like the Michelin man. The tire man. Anyways, man, Elijah looks good, bro. I mean, he looks like a first round pick. He really does. Like, I say that very honestly, but can he live up to that? We'll see. I thought Micah Mazuka kind of looked like a first round pick. He was looking good from a guard standpoint. Guards look a lot different than tackles, but Micah Mazuka did not live up to that. But Bly Hill, yeah, I forget that Bly Hill's on the roster a lot, but again, with all the hype he had last offseason, we'll see if he can finally prove it. Again, so wide open secondary. He has a very, very real opportunity if he chooses to take advantage of that. He's a very, very real opportunity. What are our chances of landing Kelvin Obot? It's hard to say now, right? Like we'll get a very good idea after all of these OVs happen. So Kelvin Obot's a guy who's probably going to commit, I'd say early July, mid-July, right? He's going to go on all of his OVs. He's going to go to Michigan. He's going to go to Oregon. He's going to go to Utah. He's going to go to Nebraska. I think Nebraska's his first one. He's going to do his due diligence. He's going to sit there and go over the playing time factor, the development factor, and the money factor, which are probably the most important three things for him. And then we'll see what happens. But I think Nebraska, they check a lot of boxes. The relationships are phenomenal. Okay, the playing time's phenomenal. If he goes to Oregon and he goes to Michigan, he's not going to see the field for 3 years. If he goes to Nebraska with Kelvin Obot's upside, I think Kelvin Obot could play as a freshman at Nebraska. I really do. Like, he's built like Elijah Pritchett, who we just saw on the screen. So if he wants to get on the field early, Nebraska's the place for him. If he wants to trust the relationships, Nebraska's also the place for him. But if he wants to follow the money, Oregon's the place for him. I mean, just let's be real here. Oregon's the place for him if he wants to follow the money. But we'll see if that really matters to him. I like Kelvin Obot. I think he's a good dude. I don't just say that because he follows me on Twitter. No, I'm kidding. I love Kelvin Obot, though. I think we're in a good place for him, but it's hard to say, right? The official visiting period will tell us a lot. And that's starting up next weekend. So that'll be big. But if you're asking me what our odds are to land Kelvin Obot or Klama Puma, who's the other 4-star tackles visiting, I can almost guarantee you I think we're going to land one or the other. Probably not both, but one or the other. Justin Evans, oh yeah. Justin Evans is going to be solid at center this year, man. Really. I think he's going to be an upgrade for Ben Scott. Ben Scott was not that good last year. He really wasn't. Like, I was rewatching Wisconsin game from last year. He was not one of the better offensive line. I'll just say that. We'll leave it at that. What is one game you feel sneaky good about and one game you're sneakily worried about? One game I'm worried about is the Minnesota game. We go up to Minnesota, what is that, week 8? Is that week 8? We have not beat Minnesota since 2018. I feel pretty nervous about that Minnesota game. Say what you want about PJ Fleck. We meme him all the time. We call him a goofball all the time. I respect PJ Fleck as a coach, by the way. I think he's a great coach. But he has Nebraska figured out. He always knows how to beat us. So I'm worried about that Minnesota game. As for the game I feel sneakily good about, I think it's the Michigan game. I really do. I think this is the year we finally beat our top 25 opponent. The last time we beat a top 25 team, I want to say it was 2016 against Oregon. That was the last time we beat a top 25 team. That's been over almost a decade at this point in time. It's crazy. This is the year we finally get that monkey off our back, right? We're at home. It's probably going to be a primetime game. The rumor mill for the Michigan game, it's either going to be big noon, which is going to be 11 o'clock at Fox, or it's going to be NBC 6:30. So that's what's going to happen there. I think it's going to be NBC. It's probably going to be announced in June at some point. I know that Matt Rhule talked to the NBC crew not too long ago. They were talking with him about potential games this year. So I expect that Michigan game to be a primetime game at Memorial Stadium. We're going to probably be 3-0 at that point in time. If there's one game this year where I'm looking at saying we can finally get that monkey off our back and beat the top 25 team, I think it's going to be that Michigan game. We'll see. You think we get another running back? Just joined. I do think we get another running back. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the channel. I have a video kind of talking about running back. But we have a transfer portal camp coming in at the mid-June. We'll have a transfer portal camp. Basically, a lot of D2 prospects, D3 prospects will come in, and they'll play for us, and we'll see what they have in store. And I think that's where we're going to find a running back. It might not be, again, it's not going to be a high-quality running back, probably, because we've already seen from Nebraska's not willing to pay for a high-quality running back. Like, they could have landed Shamar Brown if they really wanted to, but they weren't willing to pay him more than Emmett Johnson. They weren't willing to up Emmett Johnson's deal, because they just don't value the running back position that much. That's why they haven't went after a running back. It's because they just don't value it. With Dana Holgerson's new offense, now you can feel whatever way you want about that. I have my opinions, obviously, but they just didn't want Shamar Brown enough. They didn't want him enough to outbid Miami. So we're not going to get probably a high-quality running back transfer, but that transfer portal camp that we're going to have in a month's time, I think that's where we're going to identify our guy, and we're probably going to land one. So we will see. How do you say Nebraska can handle when the game... Okay, hold on. How do you say Nebraska can handle when it comes down to our offense? Can you rephrase that? How do you say Nebraska can handle when the game comes down to our offense? Like, how do I feel if it's a tie ball game and Nebraska has to go down the field, they have to go down 100 yards to get a big play going? I mean, I don't feel great. I mean, if you just go back to recent history, we've not been very successful in those tight situations. But again, I feel like something's going to change this year, right? With Dana Holgerson, obviously, we have our most competent offensive coordinator that we've had in a very long time. With Dylan Raiola, we have our best quarterback that we've had in a very long time, probably since Taylor Martinez. Something's got to change eventually, man. So if the game comes down to our offense, we have to go drive down the field and make a big play. I feel a lot better than I would last year with Marcus Satterfield, but there are some concerns. And so part of it's just a confidence factor, right? Like, the team in the past has not had the confidence to go down the field and score a touchdown. They just don't believe in themselves enough. Like, can that change finally? Because I know whenever we have the ball in our hands and it's a close ball game, I don't have any confidence as a fan, because I've seen that story a lot. Like, for example, Iowa last year, when we were playing Iowa on Black Friday, and it was tied up, 10-10, and we had the ball with 2 minutes left to go, and we were supposed to drive down the field with Dylan Raiola and potentially walk it off with the field goal. I had no confidence. Zero confidence in that. And I literally tweeted out at the time, mid-game, I tweeted out, it's either going to end with a fumble and Iowa walks it off, interception and Iowa walks it off, or we go to overtime and Iowa beats us. So I feel better about it than last year, I'll tell you that. But again, it's kind of like we got to wait and see, right? Got to wait and see. It's crazy how much the national media disrespects Nebraska. Yeah, it's a byproduct of not winning, simply. I mean, we got to win more, man. We just got to win more. It's simply put, we got to win more. Got to win more. I saw that Trey Taylor will be at a camp in June. Is that true? That is true. Trey Taylor will be on campus. I want to say June 1st. June 1st, he will be in town, peer recruiting. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. What are we thinking about CFB 26? I don't know if they're going to make that many changes to the game, honestly. Like, they're dropping the trailer, 2 days? I think the game's going to be very similar to what it was last year, and that's not great. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but they're going to add real coaches, high schools, cool, but I need them to completely change up dynasty mode. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know. What about the 105 limit? I don't think it's going to happen this year. That's what they're saying. It's not going to happen this year. Probably next year they're going to start grandfathering it in, but just something that we're probably not going to have to worry about for a while, which is a good thing. How you feel about starting off the season in Cincinnati in Kansas City versus Cincinnati? I like it, man. Again, I don't like neutral site games. Like, hate neutral site games. I think that's the worst in college football. I hate it. Week 1 and Clemson's playing Florida State. It's a very highly anticipated battle, and they're playing like the Mercedes Dome, right? They're playing in Atlanta. Like, that's dumb. the part of the thing that makes college football so unique is the home field advantage. You don't see that in the NFL. In the NFL, the crowds get rowdy every now and then. They get loud, but it's nothing like college football. It's nothing like the Big Ten, the SEC. So I don't love neutral site games, but if you're going to play a neutral site game, Arrowhead's like probably near the top of my list because it's still going to be a home crowd for Nebraska. It's going to be unique. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere. I'm excited about it, and I think it's going to be a dub. So that's probably why I'm most excited about it, is because I think we're going to win. I'd be a lot more nervous if we were playing even like a Kansas State. If we were playing Kansas State, I'd be a little bit more nervous. Or a Kansas, or an Oklahoma, or fill in the blank, right? So feel sneaky good about Minnesota, but I'm worried about Michigan. Michigan State. Ooh, Michigan State. Yeah, I mean, we're playing at home, though. We're playing them at home, so I'm not too worried about that. But if we're going to East Lansing, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Do you feel like we have a chance to be undefeated going to Penn State? Nah. No, in Nebraska, like we're gonna lose a game we shouldn't lose, or we're gonna just drop the Michigan game, or we're gonna drop the Minnesota game. Like we'll be good this season, but undefeated going into Penn State, we wouldn't. Is there a chance? Probably. There's like an outside chance, but that would mean we go 11-1 on the year more likely than not, and that's just I don't know if I'm willing to say we're gonna go 11-1. What's our chances with Torrey Pittman? Hard to say, right? Like we have a year until, next year, which is going to be his official visiting period. So again, still very early on. He's a guy who's going to wait, right? Like Torrey Pittman is not going to commit very early on. I just don't expect that to happen. He got an Oregon offer recently, got a Notre Dame offer recently. It's going to be a hard one, man. It's going to be a hard one. So I still feel okay about it, but I'm telling you, we've got to mend some relationships in the city of Omaha, because for whatever reason, the Nebraska perception is not great in Omaha. And I know this because I went to high school in Omaha literally a year ago. Like I graduated about 1 year ago. I know that inside Omaha Central, inside Millard South, inside West Side, there is not a good perception of the Nebraska football program. And that's because of Mike Riley, and that's because of Scott Frost, and part of that's because just we haven't won enough, whether that's with Matt Rule or any other coach. So to a lot of kids who are really high-quality players in the state of Nebraska, they don't even consider Nebraska because we're just not very good. It's the same way the basketball works. Like we have a lot of good in-state basketball players who just never consider Nebraska. They go to Creighton or they go to another school outside the state. Things are different there with Torrey Pittman. Like there is some mutual interest. He's grew up around the program a little bit. One of his big mentors is Abdul Muhammad, who was a past Nebraska black shirt. So it's just tough to read out what's going to go here. But he's also one of those guys who I would not be shocked if he wants to leave the state of Nebraska. He's not a guy who's like super connected. He didn't grow up to be a super big Husker fan like some of these other guys did. Like for Jace Reynolds, I shouldn't even bring up Jace Reynolds because Jace Reynolds didn't really have any quality offers. But with Jace Reynolds, he grew up to be a big Nebraska fan. Shows a no-brainer. Like Carter Nelson's a great example. Carter Nelson grew up to be a big Nebraska fan. It was a no-brainer that he was going to go here. Okay, even though he almost didn't go here. He almost went to Notre Dame. He almost went to Georgia. Okay, there might be part of him that regrets the decision, honestly, with what we've heard this offseason. That's a conversation for another point in time. I shouldn't even have said that. Yeah, I just saw that say this. Like, I could see Torrey Pittman do just about anything. But we have a year. And then we'll really start seeing anything. But it's a long way out. It's a long way out. Has our quarterback lost any weight? Yeah, he has. He looks good, man. I saw him at the spring game. He looks pretty good. Do you feel that Nebraska will flip Jordan Campbell? I do. And whether that's in July, whether that's in August, we'll see. But Nebraska's been working hard on this one for a very long time. I started hearing rumors about Jordan Campbell last offseason, right? Last summer. So it's not some guy that Nebraska's just been contacting for the last month. Like they've been trying to get this done for a long time. Rob Dvorak and Phil Simpson are legit. They've done a very good job on the recruiting trail, and they don't get nearly enough love as they probably deserve. So Jordan Campbell, again, it's Nebraska, Miami. He's visiting Auburn. He's visiting Missouri. It's going to be Nebraska, Miami. And I think when it's all said and done, if Nebraska can leave a good impression on him for that official visit, he might even wait till the season. If Nebraska can start winning games, yeah, I think he'll flip. So, how do you feel about Connor Booth? It's hard to say. I have conflicting opinions. I have very conflicting opinions. That actually leads me to something. Guys, on Thursday, I will be releasing my first positional preview of the year. So we'll be talking quarterbacks, but we'll talk running backs next week. Every single week, we'll talk a new position. I put a lot of work into that series this year, kind of like my deep dive video from last year. So I made some graphics. We have some film. We have advanced statistics. So watch out for that quarterback video dropping Thursday. Put a lot of work into that one. But the reason why I bring that up is because we talked Connor Booth in that video. I already recorded it. I'll just give you a sneak peek. Connor Booth is I just don't know if he's talented enough to play in the Big Ten. If that, like, he was a very, I say that running back by far is the hardest position to evaluate coming out of high school. Because if you watch any running backs film, they always look dominant. It's the easiest position in high school football to be really good at. For whatever reason. Like every single, if you're a low 3-star recruit at the running back position and you turn on their film, every low 3-star recruit runs for over 1,000 yards and they look crazy. So running back is a super hard position to evaluate. Connor Booth was particularly hard to evaluate because while he looks really good from a physical standpoint, he has a lot of good weight on him at 215, he's 6 foot tall. He's playing against future plumbers. I mean, he was playing against farm kids in C2 football. Not to disrespect those guys, but he's playing against, boys who, run 40 times, who are just learning how to play football, basically. He's run all over them. So Connor Booth hasn't played anybody. And to take that big step to play against Big Ten defenses, some players just never take that jump. Carter Nelson struggled with that a lot last year. And Carter Nelson was a high 4-star, almost 5-star prospect. So it's just very hard to evaluate guys like him. And we forget, like, Heinrich Haarberg was the exact same way. Heinrich Haarberg was dominant. He played C2 football at Kearney Catholic. And he was dominant. He was run all over everybody. And then he got to Nebraska, and he was not good at quarterback. He was awful. And he was a 4-star recruit. So how do you think Connor Booth's going to make that transition as a 3-star running back? And I know he ran for all the yards that he did, and he was dominant, but I don't know. Again, best case scenario with Connor Booth, he's Rex Burkhead, and that's a great scenario to be in. Rex Burkhead was great. Like I see a lot of Rex Burkhead in him, and I'm not just saying that because they're 2 white running backs. He literally kind of looks like Rex Burkhead. But with worst case scenario with Connor Booth, he just never plays, and he's pretty good for a baseball team because he's a pretty good baseball player. So that's the worst case scenario. I don't know. He's a very, very big wild card prospect. That's how it is with these small town kids that are very hard to evaluate. Very hard to evaluate. So Jamarion Parker is kind of similar. Like I have high ceiling, I'd say medium floor. For him, it's just about staying healthy. That's the only thing with him. Like I really thought Jamarion Parker going into fall camp would already kind of be our running back too. I feel like that probably would have been the case if he stayed healthy in spring ball. He looked good in spring ball, but he got injured after week 2 and we just never saw him again. It's just about him getting healthy and continuing to put on weight. And if that's the case, I think he's going to dominate in fall camp. He's going to be a running back 2 going into the year because this running back position is wide open. Again, I truly don't believe in Quinn Ives. I made that very clear. Like I just don't. I don't want to sound like a pessimist. I don't want to sound like I'm like dogging the kid. Like I'm just not. Like I'm rooting for Quinn Ives. I hope he's great. But I just if you are trying to sell me that Quinn Ives is going to be one of the better running back 2s in the Big Ten, it's just you're not going to sell me on that. And people will tell me all the time, they'll go in my comment section and they'll say, well, Quinn Ives never got the opportunity. Or they'll say, Quinn Ives, he's always been behind a bunch of, seniors and stuff. Well, Quinn Ives gets opportunities every day. And they'll say, Quinn Ives never has any playing time. He never actually gets to get on the field. He gets on the field every day. He's at practice. He's had an opportunity. If Quinn Ives was a really good running back, he would have played a lot last year. He would have played a lot as a true freshman. He's had opportunities. He gets a really, really big opportunity right now because he got handed the keys with no competition. But you just can't convince me that he's a great running back. He had 6 carries last year for 7 yards. He averaged 1 yard a carry, guys. I don't know. Not to sound like I'm dogging on him. I could see a reality Quinn Ives works out, but you just have to have simple expectations for him. And then Mekhi Nelson's a wild card, I mean, I like Mekhi Nelson. I liked what I saw the spring game, but he's a wild card. So I still have to say this, I think we need a running back transfer, but if Jamarion Parker can be that guy, I feel a lot better about the running back room as it stands. And I know that Nebraska, they won't shy away from playing a really good true freshman running back. We've done that a lot in the past. We played A.J. Allen as a true freshman. We played Gabe Ervin as a true freshman. We played Maurice Washington as a true freshman. So if Jamarion Parker is even semi-decent, they'll put him as running back too, because it's not that hard to beat out the guys who are currently in front of him, in my opinion. So yeah. Are there any guys you're worried will take a step back, kind of like Nash did last year? I mean, I wouldn't say Nash took a step back. I just don't think Nash really improved that much. At least not from a statistics standpoint. He got worse from a statistics standpoint. But from a Pro Football Focus grade, he didn't get better anyways. Take a step back. That's tough. I mean, Sear Wright maybe. Sear Wright's going to be really good, right? I just, maybe he's a little too hyped up right now, though. I'll say one of the biggest adjustments in football is going from being the starting corner going from the second corner on the depth chart to the first corner on the depth chart. Because being the first corner is so much harder because you're going up against their number one wide receiver and you're going to be targeted a lot more. So see, you're right. While he might have dominated going up against wide receiver twos, it's going to be a lot harder going up against wide receiver ones. So I try to be very cautious about, guys who are learning that role. Taking a step back. It's hard to say. I just don't know. Usually don't see guys take too big of a step back. But that's the one where I'm like, I think we got to temper expectations a little bit. I still like Raiola a lot. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be an all Big Ten guy. But is he a top 5 corner in the Big Ten? Maybe, probably not. Other than that, I don't know. I can't really think of one. Yeah, I can't think of one. There's going to be one, but I just can't think of one off the top of my head. Let me know. If you guys think someone's going to take a step back next year, let me know in the comment section. I want to hear what you have to say. Will we return a punt for a touchdown this year? No, I don't think we will. Trivia question for you guys. If somebody answers this before I give you the answer, I will be very impressed. Trivia question. When was the last time Nebraska returned a punt for a touchdown? And not only give me the team that we played, but give me the year and the player. I'll give you 20 seconds and I'll give you the answer. No cheating. First one, if anybody gets it right, I'll be very impressed. Last time Nebraska had a punt return touchdown, give me the team, player, year. And I think I know what it is. All right, I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got J.D. Spielman, correct. J.D. Spielman was the last guy to return one. 2019 is correct. Bethune-Cookman, it was not Bethune-Cookman. That was 2018? It was against Southern Alabama. It was against Southern Alabama in 2019. First game of the season, J.D. Spielman brought it back. So, there you go. There's your trivia question of the day. But I was impressed that you got J.D. Spielman in the correct year. But you were close. You were so close. You got 2 of the 3 right. But shout out to July. You got it. So, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it's still, 6 years ago, to return a punt for a touchdown? Like, usually competent teams have that happen at least once or twice. So, but I'm trying to think who our starting punt return is going to be this year. It might be Andrew Marshall. It might be Jacory. I would like if it was Jacory. It might be Nyziah. Isaiah Mozee, somebody who I think is going to be in that discussion. Yeah, those are really the ones there who I could see for sure. And Demitrius Bell. Do you like the linebacker room? I like the linebacker top end talent. Like, I think your middle linebacker top 3 and Vincent Shavers and Buda Wright, who people always forget about, that's still on this team, and then Marquez Watson Trent. That's a really good starting 3 inside. And then you have obviously your jack play, which is Deshaun McCullough, Willis McGahee. That's a very solid jack rotation. I like this linebacker room, but I think the depth's really sketchy. Like, if you start to have some injuries there and you go into this middle linebacker depth and you start playing guys like Dylan Rogers and Gage Stanger, right? And the walk-on. Who was the walk-on? Jacob Bauer, they hyped up. Like, if those guys get on the field consistently, we might have a little bit of a problem. But the top-end talent's really good in the linebacker room. Like, I love it. You just got to stay healthy. As for Dawson, it's really just a weight thing, right? Like, he's very skinny right now. He's 210. And to get on the field as a true freshman, I think he needs to be 230. Pretty much minimum. I can't remember what Princewell was as a true freshman. I can't remember what Willis was at last year. But I think Dawson needs to be about 230. That's just hard to do, right? He needs to put on basically 20 pounds this offseason. He's been out for a while with his shoulder injury. So just about him continue to get healthy and put on weight. And if that happens, I see no reason why he can't get on the field, at least playing 4 games. Thanks for the great videos. Me and my dad both watch your videos every day. Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your support, my man. With Satterfield and Foley gone, the defense might get help winning games. I agree with you. Except both of those are still technically with the program. But yeah, I get you mean. They're not in their roles that they were last year. McGahee was like 230. That sounds right. Yeah. So again, I think Dawson needs to get up to 230. Like, that's really the borderline for him. If you're anything less than 230, you're going to get pushed around. You just really are. Like, in order to rush the pass, you need to be about 230. So again, it's all about him putting on weight. You don't normally see changes in coaching until year 2. Special teams should be way better next year. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, special teams Kick returning, punt returning, kicking the football. We know kind of who our punter is going to be, the Australian punter. We'll know in about, 4 days? We'll know on Saturday, Sunday who our punter is going to be. So, yeah, hopefully special teams is a lot better because that impacts a lot of bowl games. Emmett needs receivers to block or get a fourth gear. He never takes to the house. Well, I just don't know if Emmett Johnson's fast enough to take to the house. And that's not necessarily a con. Like, I think speed in a running back is kind of overrated sometimes. Like, think about the best running backs in the NFL. Okay. Think about the best running backs in the NFL. Who do you think of? Christian McCaffrey. You think of Derrick Henry. Okay, maybe not Saquon Barkley. He doesn't work for this example. But none of those guys are the fastest in the world. Like, speed's great at a running back position, but you don't need necessarily to have great speed. You need to have great acceleration. That's what Emmett has. Like, Emmett's not a 4.4 guy. He's not a 4.3 guy. He doesn't need to be. But, yeah, I think we need better perimeter blocking for sure, though, because that was a big issue from last year. Thanks to Garrett McGuire, who was awful. Thank goodness we got word of Garrett McGuire, dude. That was such a bad hire initially. I don't know why Matt Rule made some really garbage hires when he got here, and I don't know what he was thinking. But I'm just glad that he understood that he made that mistake, and then did something about it, right? Because Scott Frost, for example, got here, made a lot of mistakes coaching wise, and then didn't understand his mistake and didn't fix it. So, whatever. That's a Christian Jones. You won't see him this year. You won't see him. Christian Jones is, again, very impressive physically. It's just he's always been very raw. Even in high school, he was raw. Like, the statistics were never very impressive for Christian Jones. It's just he struggles with being very intellectually smart on the football field, like being in the right place at the right time, reading the quarterback's eyes, going through the right hole and getting the running back right. He struggles with the intangibles. Everything from a physical standpoint he's very good at, right? He's a great tackler, obviously great build, but he needs to learn Big Ten defenses. He needs to learn the speed of the game, the playbook. So I would be shocked if we see him in the first 2 years. Really would. Kind of a wild card prospect. I could see, again, Christian Jones, in my opinion, has one of the highest ceilings and also the lowest floors we've ever seen, like in the last 5 years of Nebraska prospect. He's either going to be a first round pick or you'll never see him. Like, it's crazy. There's no in between either. There's no in between. There's no in between. Is Scott Frost going to win? No. I just don't think Scott Frost is a good coach. I mean, I think he's a good offensive coordinator. But is Scott Frost a leader of men? No. Is Scott Frost a great game planner? No. I don't think Scott Frost is going to win. And I don't think he has the horses to do it. UCF's not the most talented team in the world. They don't have the best NIL collective in the world. And that's just kind of how the sport's changing nowadays. So I just don't think Scott Frost is a great coach in my heart of hearts. And I'm wishing him luck. Like, I'm not a hater. I'm actually going to root for Central Florida next year. Like, I'm not going to hate watch his games and say, I hope Scott Frost loses. Like, no, I'm actually kind of rooting for him. I rooted for Mike Riley when Mike Riley was done. When he was coaching whatever UFL team he was coaching, I was rooting for that team. Like, I'm not. Usually I root for past Nebraska coaches, but I'm going to be rooting for him too, but I just don't. I would be shocked if it works out. And I'd be frankly a little pissed if it worked out because it's like, how can he succeed at Central Florida twice and not succeed here? How can that be possible? So I'd get in my feelings a little bit if Scott Frost won. So part of me is kind of hoping it doesn't happen. But in my heart of hearts, I am rooting for Scott because I'm just, that's not how I operate. I know a lot of people are wishing the worst. Like, that's just not, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way at all. Not gonna lie, this is the year we make a run for the playoffs. Such a reasonable schedule. I agree with you, man. I agree with you, dog. Hey, Sully, what's up with your profile picture, man? Florida Gators? What are we doing here with that, man? No, I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. But yeah, this is the year, and next year's tough because next year supposedly we're supposed to take that jump again with Dylan going to his third year. But don't you dare look at that schedule for next year. Because again, this is why I always harp on the schedule being super easy this year, because next year's schedule is awful. Okay, let's just, I'm going to pull it up for you guys here. This is why you guys should enjoy this year's schedule for Nebraska. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts, because the schedule going into 2026 is brutal. We play Oregon. We play Ohio State. We play Indiana. Who knows how good Indiana's going to be. We play Washington, who I expect to be better. Illinois, Iowa. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. Now, our non-con is kind of a joke. I hate that. Look at this non-con. This is so lame. I always make fun of teams who never schedule hard non-conference games like Iowa, and then we just became everything that I used to hate on. Like, what are we doing here? This is a soft look, and I know Matt Rule's behind this. Matt Rule wants this. Troy Dane wants this. But we should always play at least one Power 4 team every year, right? We should always play Colorado, in my opinion. But if not Colorado, we should always play a Power 4 team. The fact that we are not playing a Power 4 team, not only in 26, but in 27, that's terrible, man. That's a joke. That's a joke. The next time we play a Power 4 team is in 2028 against Arizona. That's trash. When do we play Oklahoma? Oh, 28. Okay. So, it is what it is. But, I mean, I don't hate it from like a fan standpoint. Like, it's 3 easy wins. But it kind of hurts from a YouTuber standpoint. It gives me less to talk about, I guess. But, it's whatever. It's whatever. Go Big Red. Go Big Red, my man. Do you think this wide receiver room is top 3 in the Big Ten? It has the ceiling to do so. I mean, I think it could be second. Or I think it could be third. Ohio State 1. Oregon number 2. That's not going to change. But I think it has the ability to be number 3 if everything works out. That's saying a lot, though, because the wide receivers never work out the way we think it's going to. It's just kind of what happens. Big 12 is good for an offensive mind team. Yeah, like if there's any conference that Scott can succeed in, it is the Big 12. But is he going to out-game plan literally any coach in the Big 12? I don't think so. Is he going to out-game plan Matt Campbell for Iowa State? Or Chris Keeleman for Kansas State? Or Lance Leipold for Kansas? Is he going to out-game plan any of those guys? Even Joey McGuire for Texas Tech? I don't think he will. And that's the problem with him here. It was just he couldn't game plan for crap, and that's why we never would win a game we should win. Okay? We lose to Northwestern because Scott Frost literally said after the Northwestern game, he said, yeah, they showed a different defensive front than we were expecting, so our entire game plan was out the door. That's exactly what he said. How do we let that slide for so long? And the thing that was so infuriating about the Scott Frost era is because there's so many Nebraska fans who were blindsided. Like Scott, it was so evident ever since like 2020 that Scott Frost was not a good coach, was not working out. And the recruiting was starting to go downhill. People weren't believing as much. It was so evident that Scott Frost was not working out. And it was taboo to not say it. Like if you were a fan of that time and you sit online that Scott Frost wasn't a good coach, you would get like destroyed. Like if I was doing YouTube at that point in time, if I was doing YouTube in 2021 and I told you guys that I thought Scott Frost was not a good coach as a Nebraska fan, people would have ripped me to shreds. That's how it was on the internet. That's how crazy it was. And Scott Frost is literally not only a terrible coach, he was the worst coach in college football. And yet you couldn't talk about it because the fans loved him so much. They wanted him to succeed so much that they were willing to put everything beside. All the shenanigans off the field, the losing games, the losing record. They put all of it to the side. A lot of fans were rooting for Scott Frost more than they were for this team to actually succeed. And when that happens, that's when it gets really troublesome. Anyways, that's my tangent. Holy. UCLA is the team I feel like we're overlooking again. I agree. UCLA, that's going to be tough. In Pasadena, last time we were in Pasadena, we lost that football game. What was that, 2012? When we had Taylor Martinez? We lost that football game last time we were in Pasadena. So that's a tough place to play. It's beautiful. I want to go to that game, but we'll see if I can spend that much money. I don't know if I want to do that. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game for sure. Like UCLA is going to be a lot better. I think they're going to be a sneaky good team. That's my sleeper team this year in the Big Ten. I think UCLA is going to be sneaky good. Not sure why everyone thinks the Penn State game is impossible. Well, let's just put it this way. Penn State made the semifinals last year. They were one game away from the national championship game. Okay. They bring back all of their good players from last year. They bring back their quarterback, who was one of the Heisman frontrunners. They have the best running back core in America with Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. They have a great wide receiver core. James Franklin's finally turned out to be the guy that they thought they were getting from Vanderbilt. Like, this objectively is the best Penn State team we've seen in probably ever. Since they won the Natty back in the day, right? It's a good Penn State team, really good. Like they're going to be a top 5 team pretty consistently. They might be undefeated going into that game. So, yeah, I just don't really see a world where we beat Penn State. At least not their place either. Like going into Happy Valley, potentially a whiteout game. Ooh, that's going to be impossible. It's going to be a hard game for us. It's just I don't see it. We should have won at Ohio State last year. Why can't we give Penn State a game? I think the Ohio State game was different because we had nothing to lose. We just came off of the Indiana game. We got our butts beat, Nobody expected anything from us, and we said, hey, you know what? We got nothing to lose. Let's just go crazy. And we almost beat Ohio State. And that was a great game. This year, it's going to be different because we're going to go in that Penn State game, and we're probably going to have a really good record. And we're probably going to be 9-2, or I should say, we might be 9-1. We might be 7-3, right? We're going to have a really good record. We might be ranked. So the difference between last year's game against Ohio State, we had everything to lose against Ohio State, or we had nothing to lose against Ohio State. We were just going out there, trying to inspire the fan base a little bit. Against Penn State, we're going to have everything to lose. It's just a different mentality. And I just don't know if we're going to be risky enough to win that big game. Matt Rhule is a very conservative coach, for better or worse. For better or worse. So, we'll see. For a top team in the league, Penn State is very pedestrian. Well, I wouldn't say that Penn State's the top team in the league right now. I'd say Ohio State is, but they're two. Yeah, they're two. Who are the next 3 recruits that you'll believe commit to Nebraska? Man, I don't even know the next recruit's going to commit to Nebraska. It's tough to say, right? Because I think we'll probably get a commit after next weekend. We'll see. We might get Cameron Wilson flip. We might get, we might get Ryan Murat. Ryan Murat's committing on June 20th. So it's tough. It's tough. I can't tell you though. I can't tell you. We could have had the Tennessee games, but Tennessee didn't want to delay it like we let them. Well, no, I think we shouldn't be blaming Tennessee. Okay, we purposely got out of that game. Like, I know that the Troy Dane tried to cover it up by saying, well, the stadium renovation is going to be going on and we want more revenue to fund it. Like, cut the crap, Troy. Everybody knows why we got rid of the Tennessee game. It's because Matt Rhule feels like there's no incentive in playing a hard opponent in non-conference. And he might be right. It might be better for us to play 3 easy wins in non-conference play. However, is that a good look for the program? Absolutely not. Okay, we can't sit here and pretend, or I shouldn't say pretend, we are a blue blood. We can't sit here and be a blue blood with 5 national championships and act like we're one of the, the best programs in America and then be scared to play Tennessee, frankly. Like, that's just my opinion. Again, he acted, and then he was like, well, we wanted to push it back another 10 years, but Tennessee didn't want to do that. Well, no crap, Tennessee didn't want to do that. Like, we're not going to push it back again. We already pushed it back once. We were going to play them in 2016, 2017. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It was, they just pushed it back simply because they didn't want to play a hard team. That's the truth. That's the truth. For the Michigan game, would you rather play big noon or night game? Oh, night game. Not even a question, man. Not even, that crowd's going to be electric. I'll tell you this. The Colorado game from last year, 6:30 NBC, arguably the most electric game I've ever been to besides the Michigan game in 2021. That Michigan game was off the that was crazy. That Michigan game. It could be, if we had a night game against Michigan this year, we're going in 3-0. Michigan's likely 3-0 as well. Oh my gosh, like that's going to be insane. The crowd's going to be insane. Like 11 a.m., it can still get loud at 11, but man, at 6:30 it's different. Because at that point, the crowd's drunk, you know what I mean? They pre-gamed all day long. They've been hyped up all day long. They're going nuts. They're going, whoa, Mo. They're playing Mo Bamba, you know what I mean? Like, man, we got to get that 6:30 game. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be absolutely absurd. It's going to be like Colorado last year. I wouldn't be terribly mad at 11, but that'd just be kind of a slap in the face. Like, give us the 6:30. Give us the night game. Come on. We had a lot of night games last year. We had how many night games did we have last year? We had 5. It was nuts. You think Matt Rhule is long-term? It's tough. I don't know. I will say this. I don't think Matt Rhule will be the coach in 10 years. But I don't think it's because he's going to get fired. I don't think he's going to get fired. But I just don't think he'll be the coach in 10 years. For whatever reason. He could take another job. He could just say, I don't want to coach. Like, he's one of those guys who I don't think wants to coach forever. Like, there's some coaches like Kirby Smart. Like, Kirby Smart will coach forever as long as he can keep going. Matt kind of seems like one of those guys who might just step out. Might just say, hey, I'm done. I gave my all. I'm going to retire at 60. I'm retire at 50, whatever, right? So, Matt Rhule, I don't know if he's a long-term. Like, he's not going to be here, in my opinion, 10 years. That's my opinion, though. Guys, I think we're starting to drink too much Kool-Aid. You might be right. You might be right. We're not even August yet. You think this is bad, AJ? You think this is bad? Imagine that's in August, dude. August. Now, I'm trying to reel back expectations. You guys probably can already predict. I have a pretty good idea how many games are going to win this year. I'm not predicting playoffs, but I'm predicting something real good. I'm predicting something pretty high. I'll say that. Does Matt Rhule have the power to face the SEC in that 9th conference game? He always slams them, always brings up as a talking point. Do you think it'll work? Yeah, I think the SEC is going to have a 9th conference game in 2026. That's the way it's been going for a while now. That's when they've guaranteed that they'll have it this year, but next year I think they're going to add a 9th one just because everybody's been calling for it. Like, if it happens, it's not because of Matt Rhule. I'll tell you that. Like, Matt Rhule's not going to be the reason they go to a 9th conference game, but everybody's been calling for it. Everybody has been, and it's frankly overdue. The fact that the SEC only plays 8 conference games is a complete joke, because that's why the SEC every year they dance around the fact they're like, we made the most bowl games out of everybody. Well, no crap, you made the most bowl games. You guys played an extra non-conference game. You played the Citadel. You played Army. You played, whatever, Fresno State. Like, no, yeah, of course you made more bowl games than any other conference, because you have an extra win over every other conference. So, yeah, I think they'll add one next year, until 2026. Do you think there's a way Matt Rhule gets fired this year? No. I mean, something catastrophic would have to happen. And I mean, like 4 games. He'd have to win 4 wins. Like, I don't know. Yeah, he'd have to have 4. And even then, he might not get fired, because we've already seen from Troy Dane. Troy Dane doesn't like firing people. He just doesn't like it. He doesn't like firing people. So I don't. But no, let's not even talk about that, because that's not going to happen. We're not going to win. Matt Rhule's not going to get fired. Come on. Thoughts on USC versus Notre Dame game? They don't want to play anymore. So soft. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Like, that's what's going on in college football nowadays, man. Like, rivalries are getting killed every single year. Like, Bedlam got killed just now, right? Like, Oklahoma State not going to play anymore. Nebraska's a culprit of this too. Nebraska could schedule Colorado every year and they don't do it. Nebraska could schedule Oklahoma every year. Well, actually, they probably wouldn't want to do that. But we could schedule Colorado every year and we don't do it. Like, we're one of those people too that we're too soft to not play one of our rivals every year. So I don't get it. I don't know why that is. It sucks, man. Like, rivalries are what make college football unique, and they're going away. They're going away. But I'm mad Nebraska doesn't play Colorado every year. We should. We sit here, and I want to show you guys this. I want to show you guys this real quick. So the college football, the video game cover came out today. And Nebraska made the cover. There was like a million things. This was in like the back left of it. And it had beat CU. This is an old guy. It's a big thing. It's kind of a big trend that's happened. Like, this guy since the 90s would show up with this license plate saying beat CU. But anyways, I just noticed that, like, social media, us beating Colorado was like the best thing ever. We still like dance around and like make it our Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, I tweeted this out. Beating Colorado was the best and worst thing to happen to us. It was not our Super Bowl, but we act like it was. Like, we sit here and we crapple over Colorado all the time. And then, we sit here and we act like it was the greatest win of all time. Like, guys, it wasn't that big of a deal. We shouldn't be celebrating it this much. It wasn't our Super Bowl. At least it shouldn't have been. But I saw that to say this. If we want to have this rivalry against Colorado, it's great for the sport. It's great for college football. It's great for the fan base. Why not do it every year? Why not play Colorado every single year? Because it's great for the fan base. Okay, it was great. It's great to have them back in the fold, whether you like it or not. There's some people who might think Oklahoma's great for the program. That's awesome. We're never going to schedule Oklahoma every year because we're not Oklahoma's main rival anymore. Oklahoma's moved on. They've moved on to Texas. Okay, Oklahoma doesn't think of us that way anymore. Okay, but Colorado still does. Colorado still considers us their main rival. Okay, so I don't know why we just don't schedule Colorado every year. Let's do it because it would be great for the team. It would be great for us. It would be great for the fan base. It'd be great for the fan base. But we're not going to play Colorado for probably another decade. That sucks. That's not good. Are you excited for Husker baseball this Friday? I am, man. Regional weekend is one of the more underrated weekends in all of sports. Like, I will sit down on Friday and I'll watch almost every single game from Friday to Monday. So I'm excited about it. What are my predictions? It's tough to say. Like, it's very tough to say with Nebraska. Like, we did this whole thing last year, right? Where we won the Big Ten tournament. You felt great about it. We went into the regional with Florida and we lost. We went 1-2 or we went 0-2. I actually kind of like the draw for Nebraska baseball. They're playing North Carolina. That's doable. They're playing Oklahoma. That's doable. But it's just all about them staying hot, man. Like, they're talented enough to get it done. I don't know. I'm going in with no expectations, though. I'm going in with no expectations. Like, if they lose, it is what it is. I'm just happy they're there. I'm just happy they're there. So, but I'm not going to act like I'm not like a crazy big Nebraska baseball guy. Like, I will follow the team. I'll watch a game here and there. I know the players. Like, but I'm not like sitting down watching every game religiously. Like, I just don't love baseball that much as a sport. I do love college baseball once it gets to off-season time, though. But, yep. Frost did kick it up. Yep. He, Scott Frost, he was, he's gonna love Florida, man. He's gonna love Florida. Is Nebraska talking to any transfer running backs right now? Right now, we are not. But again, I think the plan right now is we have a transfer running back camp, or we have a transfer camp coming up in mid-June. We're going to host a bunch of guys from D2, D3, NIA, JUCO ranks. And I think that's where we're going to identify our diamond in the rough running back. The same way we did Jalyn Gramstad last year. We found David Hoofkin that way. We found Mekhi Nelson that way. I think that's how they're going to find their running back. Because simply enough, we are not willing to invest enough money to get a high-quality transfer running back. We're just not. That was very clear with Jamar Brown. Okay. If we can't land Jamar Brown, we can't land anybody. Because Jamar Brown wanted to come to Nebraska, but simply for him, it was a business decision. Again, it's the same deal. If you had two jobs in front of you, one job you really want, it's your dream company, but they're only offering you $50K a year, and the other job, you don't really want that job that much. You might work a couple extra hours. It might be a little harder, but they're offering you $200K a year. You're going to take the $200K job every single day of the week. It's the same way with Jamar Brown. He probably preferred going to Nebraska, staying home, but Nebraska's offering 4 times less money when it comes to NIL. So why would he come here? I don't know. Who do you think gets single digits? I got a video lined up about that, and I don't know what I'm going to post. I think same guys last year. Deshaun Singleton, he'll get one again. I think Raiola will get one. Barney will get one. Dane might get one. Gosh, he'll get one else. Emmett might get one. We'll see. Just off the top of my head. How many points per game would score Dana? Man, better be in the 30s. Hopefully. Who are 3 freshmen who you believe could start right after fall practice? Start right after fall practice. 3. Well, Jamarion Parker, I think, could start in some capacity. I shouldn't say start, but he could get on the field a lot if he lives up to expectations and stays healthy. Isaiah Mozee could start at kick returner, so that's technically starting. And then Cade Peterzek, somebody who quietly, again, I talked about him yesterday. This brings me to, I was meaning to ask you guys this. Cade Peterzek, very hyped up. There's always a guy who wasn't early enrollee who shows up and just balls right away. And people are like, man, where was this guy earlier? My question to you guys is, out of all the true freshmen, the guys who were not early enrollees, who were not on campus during the fall, or not during the spring, I should say, who were you most excited to see? So out of all the true freshmen who are going to show up for the first time in late July, who are you most excited to see? Okay. I'll give you some names. Jeremiah Jones at wide receiver. Okay. On the offensive line, you have Juju Marks, Sean Hemmerbeck, Brian Tapu. On the defensive line, you have all of them. You have Tyson Terry, you have Cade Peterzek, you have Malcolm Simpson. And then I think that's it. I might be missing one. I think that's it. Of all those guys, who are you the most excited to see? And I'll just tell you right now, I'm excited to see Cade Peterzek, and I'm excited to see Jeremiah Jones. Because Jeremiah Jones, we have never had a 6'4" wide receiver as athletically gifted as him, and I can tell you that for a fact. We're talking about a guy who's literally 6'4" and runs a 4.4 40 time and is a freak athlete, and Nebraska gave him an absurd amount of money as a high school kid because that's how badly they wanted him. So that's my question to you. Those are my two. Cade Peterzek, they considered Cade Peterzek to be Ty Robinson 2.0. Like, that's the way they interpreted him. Like, they wanted him as badly as anybody in last year's class. They wanted him as badly as Dawson Merritt. They probably wanted him more than just about everybody else. They wanted Cade Peterzek bad. So why aren't we talking about him more? Well, probably because he wasn't an early enrollee. So Cade Peterzek's going to be dog, though. Do you think Dylan Raiola could be a top 10 quarterback in the Big Ten? He already is. Yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback in the Big Ten. If he's not a top 10 quarterback in the Big Ten, he's a bust. I mean, he should already be that. He should already be that. The question is, can he be a top 3 quarterback in the Big Ten? I don't know. Rule won't be here in 5 years. I hope I'm wrong, but I think if he turns Nebraska around, he'll take his NFL staff back to the NFL and try again. No NFL team's going to hire him. I can tell you that for a fact. No, after what happened in Carolina, Matt Rhule could win a national championship here, and no NFL team would take him because of how tumultuous his tenure was with the Panthers. And it really wasn't all his fault, but part of it really was his fault. Matt Rhule was a terrible coach of the Panthers. He could have done a lot more. And we say here we blame the owner, but Matt Rhule is a bad coach of the Panthers objectively. No NFL team's going to hire him. But I agree with you. I just don't think Matt Rhule's going to be here after 10 years because I don't know. I just have a feeling he's just not going to be here after 10 years. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I think with Matt Rhule, I just don't know if Matt Rhule's a good enough coach to bring us a natty. I think he could kind of be a really good stopgap coach where Matt Rhule could bring back this program to kind of like a Bo Pelini. He could bring us to a Bo Pelini state, winning 10 games every year, maybe 11 from time to time, and then he hands the keys off to the guy who's going to take us to the next level. Kind of like Mario Cristobal, Dane Lanning situation. Kind of like that. Or even, with Oklahoma when they gave the keys to Lincoln Riley. So that's kind of what I see. But I for whatever reason, I just don't think Matt Rhule's going to be here for the long term. And that's not a bad thing. Like, that's not a bad thing. Usually coaches don't stick around for more than 10, 20 years. That's kind of rare in college football. But I think what's going to happen more likely than not is he turns around the program. We become very consistent. We win 10 games every year, 9 games every year, which is pretty good. And then he might just say, I'm done. He might just retire. He feels like one of those guys who just says, hey, I'm not in love with it. I'd rather, retire and spend time with my family and enjoy my life than commit myself to football forever. And that's not a bad thing. So Tom Osborne did the same thing. Tom Osborne was with Natties. You know what I mean? He did the same thing. He retired a lot earlier than he probably should have. Do you think they should have done a schedule like Nebraska plays Oklahoma 2 years and then Colorado 2 years? Yeah, that would have been cool. I just think, yeah, they should have done that. They should have done that. That's just hard to set up. Yeah, they should have done that though. That would have been actually pretty sick. Did you pay attention to softball? Yeah, I did. I did at the end. I did at the very end. So I was watching their super regional. I watched their regional last week. Jordy Ball, man, she's spectacular. But I couldn't tell you literally anybody else on the team. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. But no, I mean the softball team, they were fun to watch, right? They're fun to watch. But I'm not a big baseball guy, period. I'm not like big baseball, softball guy. Like I wasn't tuned into the regular season games really. Just because I don't love the sport too much. But I'll tell you this again, college baseball regionals, I'm dialed in. I'm always dialed in. I always watch literally all the games. And I'll watch all the College World Series games. I watch all of the MLB playoffs. So I like baseball when there's stakes. The problem with baseball, in my opinion, is that there's just not a lot of stakes, like during the actual regular season. That's why I probably don't watch as much. They're playing their best baseball of the season. I agree with you. I agree. Not sure if they can make. It'll be hard for them to win this week for sure. UNC is gonna be a tough challenge, but if they can stay hot, anything can happen. They're getting hot at the right time, but we'll see if they can stay hot. Because last year they got hot, and then by the time the regionals came around, they were cold. Like they ran out of juice. So we'll see. Real question. Will Raiola take that single digit? Might want to keep that 15. If I'm him, I'm taking that single digit. If I'm Dylan Raiola, man, with all the Mahomes comparisons since he got on campus, I'm doing anything it takes to change 15. I'm doing whatever it takes. Like if I'm him and I get offered a single digit, I'm taking 1 immediately. I'm taking number 1. Okay. That's what he wore in high school. So again, I don't think Dylan Raiola intentionally really tries to be like Mahomes, but there's part of it that he kind of, he definitely respects Mahomes a lot. He definitely looks up to him, which is okay. But okay, maybe there's a part of it that he's copying Mahomes. Like, let's be real. Like he copies his whole flow. He copies the pregame thing. Like I was defending Raiola at first, but then when he did all the home celebrations, I'm like, okay. Maybe the haters have some truth here. It is what it is. Like, I mean, Raiola just needs to understand he's a 5-star quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in America. He's already a big name. He needs to be himself. Because there's a lot of people who look up to him. They don't look up to Mahomes. They look up to him. So he needs to be him. Well, So if I'm Raiola, I'm trying to change the number as quick as possible. I'm trying to change that number. If I'm Dylan Raiola, man, I'm trying to change that. If I'm him. Tyson Terry, oh yeah, I'm excited about Tyson Terry. But he is hurt. He will not play true freshman. He tore his ACL. Unfortunate. What happened to Jabari Brady? I don't know. He's no longer visiting Nebraska. I wish I had an answer for you. I'm sure we'll know soon enough. I'm not sure. Why do players like Cortez Mills wear the number 86? Why not 1 like he wore at OT7? Because at Nebraska, it's a symbolic thing under Matt Rule. You have to earn wearing 1 through 10 or 1 through 9 or 0 through 9. So to get a single digit, you have to already be a really good player on the team, which I think is a very good move. Like I would hate in the past when bum freshmen would come in here and take like 0. Like you're not good enough to wear 0. Why are you wearing it? You're not good enough to wear 1. If you wear 1 on the football field, you're supposed to be a dog from the very get-go. If you wear number 1, you're supposed to be one of the best players on the team. We can't be having just anybody wear number 1. So, like, while Cortez Mills is a really good recruit, no freshman should be wearing 1 in our program. You got to earn that first. You got to earn that honor, and then you can wear 1. So that's just my take. But I think Jacory's coming for that number 1. Oh, actually, no, Jacory's coming for number 2. That's his number. That's what he wants. We get caught up in the hype, but it's easy to forget that other Big Ten teams are at least trying to improve as well. I agree. But I think the Big Ten in general is going to take a step back this year. Like last year's Big Ten was really tough. I think this year's going to be a little harder. I think Dylan's comfortable in his own skin. It's everyone else that does comparison, not him. Well, I mean, come on. There's too many. I'm not trying to hate here, but there's a lot of similarities, right? Like he has the entire Raiola fit or the Mahomes fit to a T. Like he wears the exact same headband, the exact same arm sleeve, the exact same celebration. Again, it's very clear, and Raiola obviously goes to a lot of Chiefs games. It's very clear Raiola looks up to Mahomes. That's not a bad thing, right? But I want Raiola to be his own guy. Like you can be your own guy. And I was the type of person, I was defending Raiola on social media all of last year. When he was going viral, people were hating on him. I'm defending him, but come on, there's some truth to it, And they asked him, the press conference last year. Some reporter asked him, "Are you trying to cut Mahomes?" And Raiola got really flustered and was like we know. I'm not trying to hate, but it's just I just hope he can be comfortable in his own skin and be his own man, And hopefully he does that this year. That's fine. Not trying to hate, but it's just the case. I hope he changes his number though. That's what I hope. That's what I hope. All right, guys, let's see if I have anything else to talk with you guys about, and then we'll get out of here. Oh, I want you guys' opinions on the new end zones. That's what I was going to talk with you guys about. What are your guys' opinion on this? The new end zones for next year. So the first time ever we will be having red end zones. What are your guys' opinions on this? Ooh. Because this is a hot topic, man. People don't love it. Some people don't love it. Some people don't like it. I actually don't mind it. I actually kind of like it. Actually, I like it. The only thing I don't like is the outside border here. So again, there's a red border here, which is outside the lines. It's hard for the players to actually determine if they're inbounds or out of bounds. So that's the only thing I don't like about this. But I think it actually kind of looks kind of clean having the red end zones. I kind of like it. And my man Emerson says, what will be written on the end zones? One will say Nebraska, one will say Husker. Same as it does now. But it'll be in white lettering. So I think it looks pretty sick. I really do. I do. But it'll look a lot better. It'll look a lot better when we have grass. When we have real grass, it'll look cool. So I'm excited about that when we have actual real grass and we're not playing on garbage turf. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I also wanted to ask you guys, too, out of all of the transfer losses from last year, who do you think was the biggest loss? Because I thought of somebody who I think kind of nobody remembers, or I should say nobody remembers, but nobody really talks about. Out of all of the guys we lost in the transfer portal last year, who do you think was the biggest loss objectively? Of all the players that we lost who are no longer with the program, who do you think is going to be we're going to miss the most for next year? Okay. Could be on the offense, could be on defense. Out of all the players, who do you think will be the biggest loss that we would need on this team that we don't have anymore? Who do you think? I'll give you mine in a second here. Because I think people forget about this guy a lot. James Williams? Yeah, not James Williams. Not James Williams. Absolutely not. Absolutely not James Williams. Dante, that was one of my guys. Yep. Coleman, yep. Lloyd was a big loss. Lloyd was a bigger loss than Coleman. Coleman, he wasn't going to play, right? We know that. But Jalen Lloyd was good. Okay, here's mine. And I don't know why nobody remembers him. Princewell Emmanuel. Of all the guys we lost last year, Princewell Emmanuel, in my opinion, was the biggest loss for Nebraska. And it's like we never talk about him. We talk about Jamari, or we talk about Jalyn, or talk about whatever. We forget about Princewell Emmanuel. Like he was a stud. That dude was so good when he was on the field. The problem was he wasn't on the field as much as he should have been. That's why I think we're gonna miss. We're gonna miss him coming off the line. He was our only consistent pass rusher from last year. Like really, we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him. And then so I think honestly that's probably our biggest loss was Princewell Emmanuel. Second biggest loss was Dante. Like Dante was Dante was a dog, man. Dante was a dog. We're gonna miss Dante Dowdo a lot. Where did he go? He went to Ole Miss. We forget that Princewell Emmanuel, I think Princewell Emmanuel was a top 20 or top 30 transfer in America, according to all the rankings. And he got offers from literally every school, and he went to Ole Miss because Ole Miss gave him the bag. And that's also where his brother went, to be fair, but Ole Miss gave him the bag. Yeah, Princewell Emmanuel, that was a loss. I was thinking about that earlier today. I'm like, damn, like that would have been somebody. If we had Princewell Emmanuel and saw this team, I feel a lot better about this squad going in next year. I feel a lot better about it. Would feel a lot better. A lot better. This guy says you're very handsome. Thank you. I don't know if that's sarcastic. I don't know if that's sarcastic. They're gonna start roasting me. Nah, I'm kidding. What should the NIL cap be for each team? Ours. NIL cap should be probably 30 mil, 20 mil. I think 20 million should be the cap. That's what it'd be for everybody. 20 mil. I'm cool with that. Yup, 20 mil. 20 mil should be the cap. Anything over that's just getting absurd. You shouldn't be paying, Jackson Cantwell should be getting $2.5 million a year. That's crazy. That's crazy. Could Tom Osborne win today's football? I mean, it's hard to say, right? Football is completely different than it was when he was the coach, right? Like, it's hard to say. Who knows if Tom could handle the transfer portal? I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Tom Osborne would be a hell of a coach. Yeah, he'd be a great coach. He'd be a great coach. You need to go to Husker game. Been on a bucket list of stadiums to visit. Any game recommendations? Yeah, the Nebraska-Michigan game. If you can go to the Nebraska-Michigan game, that's the one game of the year that you need to be at. Like that's the one. I would not recommend going to any in November or even late October because it gets cold. Like I'm out there for pretty much every home game. I'm sweating it out every time. It gets real cold. Like you don't want to be out there when it gets real cold in Lincoln. So yeah, if I were you, Michigan game's the one to go to. That's the Michigan or Michigan State. Those are those first two Big Ten home games. I'm trying to go to one of those. If I'm you. So those are the two. It's still gonna be nice out. They're likely gonna be night games. If you want to go to a night game when it's nice out, that's the two. So don't forget Arik Gilbert. No, bro. Are you trolling? Are you trolling? Arik Gilbert. What are we even on here? Arik Gilbert. We definitely need a cap, whatever it is. Yeah, we need a cap. We need some regulation. So, how many 27 and 26 recruits do you believe Trey Taylor's messaging? Yeah, all of them. He is. I mean, he actually is. Like the dude's working hard, dude. So, yeah, peer recruiting's a big deal. He's going to town, man. He's trying to bring people here. But at the end of the day, peer recruiting only works a little bit if you can't win. If you do win and we start winning 8-9 games, he'll bring a lot of guys with him, trust me. But a lot of guys just aren't willing to take that big jump to Nebraska just yet because they want to go to a winning program, and we're not a winning program just yet. We're getting close. So Warren Buffett could get us a workhorse running back with speed. Probably could. He probably could, but his money's going over to Creighton right now. Yeah, it is. His money's going to Creighton. So Warren Buffett, I don't know. No, well, he'd probably have to give that money to Emmett too. Again, the big issue with the running back thing is just simply we didn't pay Emmett that much. Like, we weren't willing to pay Emmett Johnson. And Matt Rule, and I told you guys this for months. The problem with the Emmett contract is that we weren't paying him that much money. So if we wanted to transfer running back, we weren't going to be able to pay them that much because you're not going to pay a transfer more than you're paying Emmett. And I told you guys that in February. And then Matt Rule went on a podcast he went and he talked to Husker Online, what was it, a week ago? And he literally said the exact same thing. He said, yeah, we just couldn't pay a guy more than our incumbent starter. He didn't name names, obviously. I'm telling you guys this. The reason we didn't land Shamar Brown, we could have paid what Miami was paying. We could have paid what Cal was paying. The problem was what they were offering was more than what Emmett Johnson was currently earning. And if we go and offer Shamar Brown however much money more than Emmett Johnson, who says Emmett Johnson's not going to get in his feelings to enter the portal again? He entered the portal once. Who says he's going to enter the portal? He could enter the portal again. So, listen, we just kind of had our hands tied. We kind of got screwed by that Emmett contract. So, Emmett, you better be a really good running back this year. I've always been an Emmett truther. I told you guys last offseason he should have been starting from the get-go, but he better be good because he's the reason we didn't land Shamar Brown, probably. Well, not really his fault. We didn't pay him much money, but it is what it is. Is Barney better than Trey Palmer? Not yet. Trey was so good. He's not yet. Not yet. I don't know his name, but do you think Trey Taylor can flip the 5-star receiver? You're thinking of Brown. What's his name? Jameer Brown, maybe is his name. Is it Jameer Brown? I think he could, but again, we got to win, man. We got to win. You got to continue to forge that relationship. I don't know if they're best buds, but winning solves everything, dude. Winning solves everything. Like, Trey Taylor's not going to flip anybody by himself. That's not going to happen. You got to have him pure recruit, and you got to win at the exact same time. And you got some NIL that helps you out as well. So, the last 20 years taught me you cannot put your mental sanity in the hands of sporting events. Oh, I agree with you, man. I just think at the end of the day, when you watch football, particularly Nebraska football, you just got to go in with no expectations, and you got to go in expecting to lose. And I know that sounds like really pessimistic, but I've noticed that when I go into games I'm expecting to lose, or I'm just trying to enjoy everything, then I don't get hurt as much. Like, I went into that I went into what game? I went to the Iowa game, kind of expecting to lose, honestly. Because we've always lost to Iowa, and I wasn't really hurt, and I wasn't really surprised when it happened. Now, if I went to that game talking all that crap and expecting us to win, I probably would have gotten a lot more hurt. So, yeah, I agree with that. Like, you come to sporting events, man, you're always going to get hurt. Like, you're always going to get hurt at some point in time. Just don't put all your mental sanity into it. Like, I know I talk Nebraska football every single day, but trust me, I try not to put all my emotions in Nebraska football. Like, because if I did that, my gosh, I'd be depressed. I would be depressed. If I was thinking about Nebraska football every day, 24/7, and I would be depressed by December end. I would be depressed. Should I change my name profile picture? Yeah, bro, you should change it. Put Jacory Barney on there, man. Put Jacory Barney on there, dog. You can keep your name, but you can put Jacory Barney on there, man. I give my firstborn for a 10-win season. That's crazy, Judy. Come on, what are we doing here? First for 10 wins, at least a national championship. That's crazy. Please tell me you don't have kids. Tell me you're being facetious here. Please tell me you're being facetious. Saturdays used to be comfortable, not so much the last decade, though. Oh, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, they're stressful, right? Like, the thing about the football season's like it's super short compared to like basketball, compared to baseball. Like, the football season is only 12, 13 weeks. But it feels like it goes on for an eternity because it's literally so stressful. And during the football season, you can't think about anything but football because you're thinking about the upcoming game for Nebraska. Then you're thinking about the result from that game. Then you're going on to the next game and you're worried about it. So it takes such a big emotional drain from you when the football season rolls around. It feels like it goes on for a while. So that's why it's good to kind of, not focus on it as much. Go in lightheaded, go in, not expecting much, and then you won't get hurt as much. Because I'll tell you this, like, I went into that. The most hurt I've ever been as a Nebraska football fan was the 2019 season. I will tell you that for a fact. I've always loved Nebraska football. I grew up a big Nebraska fan, obviously. That's the reason why I'm doing this. And I went into that 2019 season. We were preseason ranked. We were so hyped up. I went in there thinking we were I thought we were going to make the college football playoffs. I genuinely did. I went into that year expecting college football playoffs, and we won 5 games, man. I was so hurt. I was so hurt after that season, man. That ruined it for me. And that ever since then, I'm like, I just try not to be so emotionally attached. Because, gosh, I was just... After that 2019 season, man, I was in shambles, man. I was in shambles. AJ says Michigan State. Oh, man, I was in shambles after that Michigan game, too. Oh, man. Man, that Michigan game, I was terrible. That Michigan game and the Iowa game in 2022. I was at both of those ones. I can tell you that for a fact, man. I was just, yeah, bro. I was so sad. So sad. If we lose on to the next game, I agree with you. RVP didn't play last year, really. Yeah, I mean, the reason why he didn't play was just simply because they wanted to preserve his red shirt, because from a weight standpoint, he wasn't great. He's had a lot of bad weight on him from last year, so they wanted to kind of continue to transform his body. They wanted to put him in 4 games, but for him, it's going to be a long-term thing. Like, they know he's going to be here all 4 years, so might as well redshirt him and then have his body get right, and then he'll be a beast this year. Like, they're expecting a lot of big things from Riley, so I'm hoping he can break out, man. I really am. Again, I'm two guys who have a lot to prove. Riley Van Poppel, Cameron Lenhard. Cameron Lenhard has a lot to prove, too. That dude did not play well last year. Cameron Lenhard, I shouldn't say he didn't play well, but he could have played a lot better, to say that. Could have played a lot better. All right, guys, could you put some comments in here? I'll get to your final comments. Again, also, by the way, please hit that like button on the stream so more people see this after we're done. Let's see. How many likes are we at right now? How many likes are we at? We're at 33 likes. Let's get that up to 50. We can get it up to 50. Just takes 2 seconds. Hit that like button. Let's get that like goal up to 50 here. Keep putting some comments in here. We'll keep going for just 10 or 20 more minutes here. Give me your any questions you got, recruiting questions, season questions, just any conversation bits, anything that's on your mind. We'll get to it. But hit that like. Let's get up to 50 on this stream. I'm trying to think about anything. But again, keep putting something in the comment section as you guys put some stuff in there. I'll give you some programming updates, what you can expect from the channel. So, again, on Thursday, so not tomorrow, but on Thursday, we are dropping, I'm starting my positional preview series. Again, this year we went all out. So we got graphics, we have film, we have statistics, we're talking quarterbacks, and that's going to be a weekly thing on the channel. So again, watch out for that dropping this Thursday, about 10 o'clock. Would love you guys showed support on that. Recruiting it. We're going to have recruiting content almost every single day on the channel, man. But yeah, we're going to have a lot. We're going to have a lot of recruiting content. It's going to be, June is quietly the busiest month in all of college football, not named December. It's June and December, because December is the transfer portal, June is high school recruiting. Those are the 2 busiest offseason months. So June's gonna be a fun month for us, guys. We're gonna have a lot of fun on the channel during June. We'll have some more live streams just like this. Other things, I mean, I got a lot of stuff planned this summer. We just got a lot of fun content, so I'm excited to see what we got in store. But let's get back to your comments here, guys. We'll keep going as long as you guys have stuff to talk about. I got nowhere else to be tonight. We're at 43 likes. Let's get it up to 50. Let's get it up to 50, guys. Who's the best overall athlete on the team? Jacory. I think it's Jacory or Jeremiah Charles. Those are your 2. Yeah, and then, I mean, Jeremiah Jones might be up there too. Obviously, again, 6'4" receiver coming in, true freshman, runs a 4.40 time. Quinn Clark's up there. That's the guy's an athletic freak. Keona Davis is up there. Yeah, you could even put Haarberg on there. Honestly, you could put Haarberg in that conversation. Is Illinois or Indiana more overrated? I think Illinois is pretty overrated right now. They were really underrated last year. Now they're pretty overrated. Like Luke Altmaier. I feel some sort of way about Luke Altmaier after he disrespected Nebraska on social media and disrespected Trey Taylor. After Luke Altmaier disrespected Trey Taylor on social media, he was going at like a 15-year-old, man. Luke Altmaier, you're a grown man. You're like 24, bro. And you're going at our quarterback commit because he tossed your Illinois hat. Like this, Illinois is a soft program, man. I hope they have a lot more fans than I thought, too. They talk a lot of crap on socials, dog. They talk a lot of crap on socials. Wilson, what's your favorite restaurant in Omaha? Man, I don't know, man. I'm not a big restaurant goer, honestly. Like, I don't eat out a bunch just because, I don't know. I try to hit the gym. I'm trying to bulk up right now, so I'm not a big restaurant goer. I'd say it's tough. I love Oscars. Oscars for wings. I'm a big wing guy, so I'll go to Oscars. Love barbecue, so and pretty much any barbecue place. We have a lot of good barbecue in Omaha. But there's one kind of near where I live called Hog Wild, which is pretty good. That's actually really good. Yeah, I'm not a big fast food or not a big restaurant guy in general though. But I'd say those 2. I've been trying to go out more though because I go to Creighton obviously, so I'm downtown. I'm downtown a lot now, so I'm trying to go to more restaurants. But they're expensive, man. They're expensive. Oh, Alpine Inn, that's a good one. My dad. This is my dad, by the way, who's tuning in. I do love me some Alpine Inn. Alpine Inn is a good one. Yep. Alpine Inn. which is what's that? North O. That's a good one. Me and my dad went to, gosh, where do we go? Where did we go for wings the other day? That's like the best wings in Omaha. I don't even know. Everett's. Went to Everett's. That was good. Everett's was solid. Anywhere with wings, really, really good. Really, really good. So that's what I got. I'm not a huge restaurant goer though. I really am not. I'm really not. Best fast food. If I've already given my best fast food though, I would say best fast food is Five Guys. I love me some Five Guys and love Culver's. But again, I try not to go that much because you know what that does to your body. You know what that does to your body. You know what that does to your body. So those are my favorite fast food. But again, I'm not a big restaurant goer. At least I try not to be. If the refs were better for the Ohio State game, we could have won. I agree. But I just hate I hate blaming the refs for stuff. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's just the easy exit. Like, oh, the refs screwed us. Like, there's more than that. You know, there's more to that. Any updates from the running back from Omaha? Yeah, I don't think we're going to land him unless we don't land Devin Walker. Again, he's referring to Nelson Wheeler. Again, I think it's just kind of too late. Yeah, I don't think we're going to land him just because I think we're going to get to Devin Walker once all said and done. I think we're going to get Jamal Rowe. So I think we'll be fine. As for the 27 class, we do have an in-state running back who I really like, and that's Kaylon Haney. I would get to know that name very quickly if I were you guys. He's going to be a 4-star running back at Omaha Central. He's teammates with Torrey Pittman. Do your homework on some Kaylon Haney because he's a dog, man. You know what? Let's just pull up. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to show you guys Kaylon Haney real quick. Let's pull up his stuff here. I'll show you guys some Kaylon Haney film. I got me a new laptop so we can play this. But on my old laptop I was running, we could not run film during a live stream. But here's some Kaylon Haney. So this is a big bruising running back from Omaha Central. Look at that. And this is sophomore highlights, by the way. He has 2 more years. He's a 27 recruit. He's going to be a 4-star. He has offers from Nebraska already, Wisconsin already. Like if Nebraska already offered this kid, and they're very selective in state, that tells you a lot. You know what that does to your body. So that tells you a lot.
Be freaking out.
Look at this guy. He got some speed on him, but man, he's just a bulldozer, bro. Like he is a bulldozer. So. This is somebody who I like. I like me this guy. Kaylon Haney out of Omaha Central. Look at this. Oh, okay. Where you going, boy? Yes, sir. Stiff arm. Yeah, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. I like me some Kaylon Haney. So that's somebody who I'd watch out for, guys. I just want to show you a little bit of him. Yeah. I love his game. I love his game. I like it a lot. My man Ross says Oscars, try Porky Butts Barbecue. I've heard of that one. Yep. Taqueria Tijuana, best Mexican in Omaha. I'll have to write that down, Ross. Yeah, I like me some Mexican. They got some Mexican downtown that are pretty good. We have some good Mexican joints here in Omaha. So yeah, Omaha is a very underrated food scene, I'd say. Do you feel like turning off the game when it gets ugly for Nebraska? I never turn off. And he changed his profile picture. Yeah, I never turn off the game, really, ever. I never leave early either. Like if I go to a game, I'll never leave early. Because it's like the tickets were paid for. I'm trying to enjoy the experience. Like I'll just never turn off the game. So yeah, even like the Indiana game last year, I don't think I turned it off. But I did pre-record my reaction video because we were getting destroyed. How was college this year? Did you have plenty of time to film videos? Yeah, I had time. Yeah, this year during college, I mostly recorded my videos on the weekends, so I would record like 5 at a time on like Sundays and stuff. But yeah, I had plenty of time. Yeah, but college was great, man. College was a good time, man. It was a good time. What was the recruiting update? You have to scroll back to the start of the live stream, my man. Got to go sauce by Alfaro? Never heard of it. Again, there are a lot of great places in Omaha. I'm not a restaurant goer. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Do you go to any Nebraska basketball games usually? I don't. I mean, I want to go. Honestly, it's just tough because usually Nebraska basketball, they'll play on like a weekday. And again, I go to Creighton. So like I'm not trying to drive 1 hour to Lincoln on like a Tuesday night and then drive all the way back and then go classes at, 8 a.m. in the morning, right? So I usually don't. Yeah, I usually don't. But I went to the Nebraska Creighton game last year. I mostly go to Creighton games. I'm a J-sker. I am. I'll proudly proclaim it. I root for Nebraska and Creighton. I don't root for Creighton and root against Nebraska. I root for both. I just do. Nebraska's I root for, and I should preface by saying this, I root for every single university in the state of Nebraska. Okay. It could be Concord. I'm wearing a Concordia shirt underneath this here. Could be the Concordia Bulldogs. It could be Omaha Mavericks. It could be the Crane Blues. I root for every single university in Nebraska because Nebraska's my state, but Omaha's my city as well. So, yeah. But I go to a lot more Crane games just because I go to Crane. Can you do Connor Booth film? I've done two Connor Booths film. Yep. I've made 2 videos about him. So you have to search that up on my channel because I've made 2 videos about him. So can you show Nelson Wheeler's film? Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, let's pull up. I'll pull up Nelson Wheeler's film. So this is the 3-star running back from Omaha that Nebraska is kind of interested in right now. Let's pull it up. All right. So again, right now Nebraska, semi-interested in this guy. He has some offers from Michigan State. Wisconsin's in here maybe, a couple others. This is film from Grand Island. He's blazing fast. He is literally the fastest running back. Look at that speed. The one thing I liked about Kaahaaina Haney, who I just showed you, like Kaahaaina Haney's that loser. Like, he's going to truck over you. That's why I like Kaahaaina Haney so much. But yeah, this is Nelson Wheeler. It's just pure speed, dude. I mean, he's so athletic. Oh, we got a little block highlight there? Okay, I see you. I didn't know you had it yet. Yeah, okay. Cut it out, young man. There's a reason why this kid from Grand Island, who's now at North South, there's a reason why he's getting some powerful inches. It's because you rarely see running backs of his size. Nebraska, again, they could offer him. I just don't see it. I don't think they could. I do not think they could. But they could. I wouldn't be mad either. To be honest. All right, let's get back in the comment section here. Why did you not go into Nebraska? Again, it was just simply Crane. Crane was Omaha, right? Crane's closer to home. They're like 20 minutes away from my house. It's simply like I got a scholarship to go to both. I had an opportunity to go to Creighton for free, and I had an opportunity to go to Lincoln for free. And I thought that Creighton was the better school, and I like Creighton. Again, if you guys know me, like very very few people actually know me. Like I'm not a big partier. I'm not one of those guys. Not one of these frat guys. You know what I mean? And that's kind of Lincoln in my opinion. Like Lincoln. Love the school. I mean, love the team. Love all the teams there. But Lincoln is a party school. It just is. It's a big public school, right? And I think for me, the reason why I like Creighton so much is just because Creighton was a little bit smaller, a little bit more prestigious academically. I know that sounds kind of cliche, and I thought it kind of, it's kind of a religious school. It's something I kind of go towards. I prescribed to that. So that's just kind of why I chose it. I was very blessed. I had an opportunity to go to both for free, and I just kind of thought, I was going to stay home. I wanted to stay closer to home and go to Creighton. So not to crap all over Nebraska, but that was my thought process, right? Like that was just, I would have been happy with either one. I would have been happy with either one, but that's just kind of why I chose Creighton. So, but again, I remember I revealed it on the channel. I was doing a live stream last year, and I was like, and I think it was last year in like June, and I was like, I'm gonna reveal where I'm gonna go to college, and I pulled out a Creighton t-shirt, and everybody started booing me. Everybody in the chat was booing, man. Like, again, you guys know how it is though. Nebraska's first. Like, I'll root for Nebraska and everything. I rooted for Nebraska when they played Creighton this year in basketball. Nebraska's first. It's always Nebraska's always first. Like that's just the way it is. But again, I root for every school in the state of Nebraska. It's not Nebraska Creighton. I root for the Omaha Mavericks. I root for Kearney. I root for Concordia. I root for Dane. I root for Chadron State. I don't care. Nebraska Wesleyan. If they are in Nebraska, I will root for them. I don't prescribe to any of these rivalries. I just don't. Maybe I'd feel a little bit differently if I grew up in Lincoln. Maybe I'd hate Creighton. But because of the fact that I grew up in Omaha, everybody in Omaha is a J-sker. Everybody in Omaha roots for Nebraska and Creighton. That's just the way of life here. So, some people think it's a rivalry. Personally, I don't. I think that it's just the way it is. So, feel free to judge me. What are you doing for college? What's your major? Majoring in finance and accounting, and then likely going to go to law school. It's probably what my path's going to be there. So, but I'm just giving myself options. Taxi breakfast, Goldberg's lunch. Oh yeah, I've been to Goldberg's a couple of times. Yep. That's kind of around my area a little bit. I'm in the Papillion area. So I'm kind of by there. But yep, been around there for sure. Those are good places. Don't ignore my question. Get Mr. Dittman out here. Nah, man. This is actually my own separate house. He lives in a mansion, a couple in Florida. Lives in a lake house, man. I'm just playing. Nah, he's sleeping. Do you think Ty Robinson can win the Super Bowl year one in the NFL? I hope not, man. I hope not. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Commanders fan. I hate the Eagles, so I hope he does not. I wish him the best of luck for his career, but I just hope his Eagles don't succeed. That's just me, though. I do not like the Eagles. Do not like the Eagles. Flemings, don't think I've been there. Don't think I've been there. Good for you. I appreciate you, Soli, man. And you just got to change that profile picture, Soli. You got. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, my man. I appreciate you, dog. I remember that. Like I'm like that was funny. Yeah. Again, I got booed. All right, guys. We've been going for like 2 hours. It's been a long live stream. So again, put your final stuff in here. Well, I want to go for maybe like 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes. However many questions you got or anything to talk about, anything on your mind, put it out there. But as for the plan for live streams going forward, I'm trying to do a couple more live streams this summer. We'll probably do a live stream at some point in June, talking more recruiting. We'll probably do a live stream late June, July. Just let me know, like, whenever. Like, we'll probably do one maybe bi-weekly, so twice a month, something like that. So we'll try to do some more live streams, obviously, when we have stuff to talk about. But you guys know how it is during the season. Like, during the season, we'll do probably 2 live streams a week. We'll go live, obviously, before the game. It's probably a Friday night or a Thursday night, talking the game. And then, of course, we'll have a live stream after the game as we usually do, and we'll talk about it. So that's kind of the plan for the live streams. Again, I know a lot of you guys enjoy them. I just try to, again, a lot of times I don't have the time to do them. So, but today at the time I was like, no, we'll go live. We'll talk Nebraska recruiting because we have a lot to get into. So, you guys have anything final to put in here? I got nothing more to go over with you guys, but again, appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me. Again, make sure to hit that like button. What are we at likewise?
I know a lot of you guys
51.
enjoyed.
We hit it. 50 likes on the stream. Let's go. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for 50 likes. It just helps the algorithm, obviously, when I end up finishing, people will see the video more. So appreciate you guys. The NIL video was good. I appreciate it, Cade. Appreciate it, my man. Good show. Yep. Thank you, Judy. Cade says, Pritchett better be good for all the money we paid him. You're right, dog. You're right, because we're paying him a lot more than we probably should. Do you know if Tommy Hill's still injured? I saw he got picked up by a team in the X4 UFL. Did he actually? Okay, hold on. I gotta find this real quick. Did Tommy Hill got picked up in the UFL? Yo, hold on. Let me find this. Are you trolling me? Grant, are you trolling me? Tommy Hill got signed by the Birmingham Stallions. Wow. That's such a fall off, dude. That is a crazy fall off for Tommy Hill. I think he is probably still injured. He went from being a potential first round draft pick to being in the UFL and not even getting an opportunity. That's awful, man. Man, that's awful. He needs to go to the CFL. That's where football's still pure. The Canadian Football League, June 4th, gets going. That's where the game is still pure. Does Husker football pop up in your dreams? Nah, it doesn't. I try not to think about it too much. I miss the live streams, keeping them up. Yep, we'll get some more going throughout the summer here. We'll get some more going throughout the summer. All right, guys. I think that will do it. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to go over with you guys. Again, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's a good time. Again, we'll try to do some more live streams this summer. Appreciate all you guys' support as always, watching all my videos, hitting the like button on the videos, commenting. Again, means a lot to me. So again, appreciate all of you guys' support. I just want to, again, very grateful for you guys. Again, I do my best to give you guys some good content, but without you guys, obviously this channel would be nothing. So I'm getting very appreciative of all of you. You might think that one person doesn't make a difference, but truly it does. So again, grateful for all you guys supporting me, because again, it means a lot. I put a lot of work into this, but it's nothing without you guys supporting me. So again, appreciate you guys always, and appreciate you guys hanging out with me as always. So again, make sure to hit the like button on the stream as we get out of here. Again, have a great evening. Have a great week. Big video coming out on Thursday going over positional previews. A lot of recruiting to talk about. We have a lot of stuff to talk about on this channel as the summer progresses. I'm getting excited. It's going to be a good year, guys. It's going to be a good year. At least I hope so. All right, guys. Have a absolutely great night. We'll get out of here in a second here. And appreciate you guys as always. Go Big Red. Go Mount Roll. And I'll see you in the next one.
With them, I just try to, again, I'm just